Welcome to this sponsored video, sponsored by Van Ryder Games. Thank you to Van Ryder Games. They have a new tabletop RPG called the Revenant Society, and that is what we are playing today. If for some reason you don't know me, thanks for coming to this channel and this video. Anyway, my name is Paula, and I will be the Fate Weaver. I will be running this story. And of course, I am here with Matthew Jude, who I imagine, there he is. He's on that side, I think. You also know, unless you didn't know me, then you didn't know Matthew. And we are being
They
joined
could know
as
me
fellow
independently
players.
of knowing you. Just
They
throwing
might,
that
you
out
know,
there.
some people do. I'm just saying, if you know who I am, you probably know who Matthew is. But
But
that
you don't
doesn't mean
believe
you
it.
can't know Matthew and not me.
Yeah, I see how this is. That's fine.
Well, also joining us to help break this tension is Mary Lou and Rachanee, who have also been on the channel before. You know all of us, but I'm going to let them introduce themselves quickly. Matthew, is there anything you want to say, even though I'm sure everyone here already knows you?
Hi! That's it. You know, hello.
Mary Lou, how are you? Thanks for being here.
I'm so happy to be here. I love playing games with you and with Rachanee, and this is my first time meeting Matthew, actually. So even though I had heard of him, you know, I'd seen his little face on my little screen. This is our first talking in real life, so that's pretty cool for me.
Yeah. Rachanee, how are you today?
Doing good. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited. Great to play with you again, Mary Lou. Great to meet you, Matthew. So this will be a lot of fun. I'm excited.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've been all sunshiny here at the start. But this is a game about being a revenant, an undead person sent back into your reanimated corpse to figure out why you died and how that death is related to a shattering event, something that can change the course of this reality that we live in, this current timeline, and that can't happen. So you are going back to figure out what happened and how to stop it. But first, you're all in limbo. Limbo is a waiting room where all souls hang out until they are properly processed. There's a lot of administrative red tape, paperwork. It's like going to your tax office, right? It's usually like a beige room, kind of like a dentist's waiting room. There are several chairs. There are souls sitting patiently, flipping through magazines and newspapers while demons and ghouls gossip behind glass windows. When a number is called, the soul approaches the glass window to greet Greta, the administrative demon who will process the soul's paperwork. Greta is a human-shaped creature made of smoke and fire with 2 pinpricks of light for eyes. She wears a lavender cardigan and carries a nail file despite it setting on fire every time she picks it up. You, the 3 of you, have died, but you straddle the line between the afterlife and the living. You keep returning to the same time and place every day, at least until you can solve the mystery behind this time loop you find yourself stuck in. You no longer possess the flesh of your old body. You now have supernatural abilities, making you stronger than before. You also appear as you did before you died, except with whatever injuries happened when you died. You look like a moving corpse. You might smell like one. You are held together by formaldehyde and decaying organs. So you're sat here in this waiting room, and this is where we are going to go into some character creation. Now, this is a really kind of collaborative story game, so we're going to figure out a lot of things on our own. So you should all have a playbook that has your character type. Everyone just say, if you will, what your character is. Matthew, what playbook are you using?
The hopeful. I'm playing against time.
And then Rachanee, you have chosen
the philosophical. Should I read the little
Mhm.
description?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Well,
It
now I
says,
look
head in the
bad.
clouds and constantly curious, easily distracted, and a bit of a scatterbrain. This is not
All right,
like real
Matthew,
life at all.
not at all. Matthew, what was yours?
So mine's enthusiastic, naive, always looking forward to a better future, even if there isn't one.
I like it. All right, and then Mary Lou, who are you today?
I'm the grizzled. I'm miserable and jaded, but with a kind heart underneath that tough exterior. I'm playing
So
against type.
underneath that tough exterior.
Yeah, I'm
So
really
you can
tough.
see everyone on their playbooks, you've got a place for your name, your pronouns, how old you were at death, things for you to be thinking about right now as we go through some of these things. The first thing that is going to inspire you is this game has memory cards, and they're images that are meant to inspire an idea in you for something. So this first one, I'm going to give each of you a memory card, and this is an NPC, someone who was there when you died. Now, this image is maybe not going to be an image of a person, but maybe it makes you think of a person. It makes you think of something. We don't need to understand how you got to your idea from the image. It's just a jumping off point for you. So the way we're going to do this is I'm going to need a number from everyone. 1 through 42. Don't pick the same number, because normally you would have these shuffled in a deck, you'd flip them over for everyone, but we're playing digitally, so I just have them as files that are numbered. So let's start with Matthew. Give me a number, 1 to 42.
1.
Great. I actually already have that loaded in here, actually, so you can have this. Now, just think about this. This is your memory card. Something
Okay.
about this will inspire an NPC, someone who was important in your life or who was there when you died. So think about who they are and what your relationship is to them. Rachanee,
Okay.
how about you give
32.
me a number? 32. Okay. This is yours, Rachanee.
Huh.
So Rachanee got a gramophone, it looks like. So whatever this might make you think of for an NPC, someone who was there when you died. And these things can become more fleshed out as we go, because you have a bit of like an amnesia about you. So anything that's just like a jumping off point. Mary Lou, give me a number.
14.
All right. This is yours.
Ooh. Ooh. Okay.
Okay. So think on all that. And so let's talk a little bit about these people. So we'll go back to Matthew. You've had the longest chance to think about. Let's go through your playbook here. So first, we need to know what did you used to work at doing? What was your occupation? It can be one of the suggestions on your form here, but it can be anything you want. So
I was an underachieving motivational speaker.
great, I like it.
Like, I was a motivational speaker, but I was just not doing great at it. But I was trying. Motivating myself was half the battle. Let's be real.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Right.
But
Well,
I'm hopeful.
ain't that life, right?
Mm.
And how old were you at your death?
56.
And do you have a character name in mind?
Rudiger Bonjovi. Bonjovi is a perfectly
Rudiger.
reasonable last name that's been maligned. I feel like it's a perfectly Bonjovi. It's an average,
Perfectly
Very normal.
normal last name.
Very normal.
Yeah, yeah.
But you can call me Rudy. You can call me Rudy.
Rudy, I like
Yeah.
it. I like it.
I felt that was New York.
It is. It does feel very New York.
Very New York.
And he, him for Rudy.
Sure.
All right. Okay. Now, talk to us about your NPC. We need a name and just what your relationship was to them. So anything you've got, and that's all we need at the moment.
That was young Arthur. And we called him young Arthur because there was an older Arthur. So young Arthur is his full name.
Right. And what was your relationship to young Arthur?
I feel he was a newsboy on strike, and I was trying to give him life advice on how to make it. I was like, you want to be delivering these papers, or do you want to be in them? I said, do you want to be...
Do you want to deliver these papers, or you want to be in them? I like that.
Do you want to be working for the man, or do you want to be the man?
Okay, and then in your inventory, you get to choose something that you have. Well, you get to choose one from these things, and a gun isn't one of them.
I want anything I can use as a gun. All right.
Would you like a piece of rope, a ruler, or a letter with a promise for a pay raise?
I will take the letter with the promise for a pay raise.
Right.
Because that's not a letter.
Also, go through.
Right? That's not a letter. That's a contract you're signing to yourself.
That's a contract.
That I was going to give to young Arthur. And I'll say, you promise yourself the pay raise, and then you can see the pay raise. Keep this in your pocket until it's true. Look at it every day.
It's your version of like the write yourself a check for $1 million, put it in your wallet.
I came up with that.
10 years, you're like, I'll be able to cash it. Right.
I was the one that came up with that. Yeah, that was me. That was me.
Amazing.
And
that's amazing.
That is underachieving shot, huh?
And in years to come, Jim Carrey would do it. And look at him now.
Yeah.
He turned out fine.
Yeah.
Wow.
He turned out fine.
Probably fine. Yeah.
I'm sure fine.
Then you will also, Matthew, on the second page of your playbook, it has your undead moves. These are special abilities that all of our characters have. You don't need to tell us which one you're choosing, but just think about it. Choose one of those to start the game with.
Guided by voices.
Oh. So that means Matthew might be able to hear something from the beyond that can guide him in his choices as we play. Excuse me, Rudy, not Matthew.
I sometimes talk to my own mentor who passed away, but he's still with me.
That's beautiful.
Thank you. His name was.
Oh, we're coming up with a yeah. Give it to me. Give it to me.
I was trying to think.
No, what was his name, Matthew?
I was going to say Giuliani.
Giuliani.
Yeah.
Giuliani. All right, I've written it down. Your old mentor.
Just his last name.
Jules. Right. Oh, yeah. Rudy and Giuliani.
Yeah, Rudy and Giuliani. Nice. Classic New York guys.
Yeah.
So, quickly, I will show you. We've got this map of New York. And there's a variety of subway stations that you are going to be able to visit while we travel. Some of them are under construction. You can see that they have little construction tokens on them. But Matthew, you will need to pick one of these to be the area of town that you used to live or work in. Harlem, great. So jot that down, because when you are in Harlem, you will be able to take a bonus die for something that you do in that area because you know it well. So jot that down. Okay, Rachanee.
Okay.
Let's go to you. All right. What's your name, Rachanee?
I am, Amelia, or you can call me Mia Pendergrast.
I love it.
I love that name. It's a great name.
Thanks. I will admit to watching Easy A before this.
And how old were you when you died?
26, tragically.
Very tragic, yes.
Tragic,
and
probably 27 would be cool. So
true.
26 and a half.
26 and a half. That's close enough.
Oh, so close.
So close. That's why I died. I was uncool.
What did you used to do as an occupation while you were living?
Oh, this is totally not type, right? I was a novelist.
Rachanee's not just playing herself here.
We swear. We swear.
All right, and talk to us about your NPC who you remember, who they were, and what your relationship was to them.
Well, it was a gramophone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how portable it would be. This is probably part of why I died, because again, I'm scatterbrained. I don't really know, logistics. But I had a little bit of amnesia in life. So I think now as a dead person, I have amnesia on top of amnesia. And I had my
Right.
gramophone
Amnesia,
with
yeah.
me. Yeah, to like kind of jog my memory about things. Think like 50 First Dates, but like way before it was invented. So I would play it to remember things about myself, things where I needed to go, what I needed to do,
Okay. And was there anyone associated, any human person associated at all with any of these memories you might play, or who suggested maybe that you carry this gramophone with you, or you're not sure yet? You would actually need to play the gramophone to remember.
I feel like, again, because my memory is faulty, I feel like there were other voices on there telling me things I needed to do or remember. I believe that perhaps a professional, like a trusted professional, might have told me to do this, but it's hazy. It's quite hazy.
Okay. And you have an inventory of something that you have with you: a blank journal, an engraved pin, or an old coin.
Oh, I'm thinking a blank journal, as blank as my mind is right now.
I like it.
Ooh, burn. That's my
And
easy. That's my easy.
Burn. And what are Mia's pronouns?
She, her.
Great. Want to make sure I get them all right. Okay. And you also get to choose one undead move. You don't have to tell us necessarily what it is unless you already know, but no, you'll get one to start the game with.
Ooh. So I should tell you right now?
If you want to wait and just to decide, but you just make sure you have one chosen. But if you already know what it is, you can tell us.
I'm gonna pick one with nature because I like the idea of being an undead Disney princess.
Speak with the plants or animals and gain some insight into what happened in the area is something you could do if you roll successfully for that. So that's pretty
we could
great.
also spend half of this
so cool.
talking to a cat.
That is me in real life. So
That's
again, not playing against type at all.
But of course cats can talk to ghosts. Like, we all knew that. We knew
Exactly.
that. Cats talk to ghosts.
Okay, so now you get to choose one of these locations for where you used to live or work, and that is where you will get a bonus die if we go there.
Canal Street sounds pretty. I feel like hopefully there's nature there.
All right, jot that down for you. Actually, I found out that Canal Street was named that because the sewer there used to just be open, and it was just a big canal that ran through. And they covered it over in the 1800s.
If you want nature, you should probably live in the Upper West Side, or does that say Columbus Gardens underneath? Columbus
Underneath
Circle.
one of my under construction, it might, but you can't live there because it's under construction.
Can't live there. Okay, maybe Upper West Side because it's by the park.
Ooh, I like that. Okay, I'll switch then.
All right.
I think Canal Street is kind of nasty. I know, because that's where I was gonna live.
Oh, no problem. No worries.
Now you see my ulterior motive.
All right. Well, we know Mary Lou's grizzled character will live in Canal Street. Mary Lou, tell us more about the grizzled. You got a name there?
Yeah, his name is Augustine Stanley, but people just call him Augie.
Augie, I like it. And how old were you when you died, Augie?
He was 55, and it would really bother him that that Rudy is older than him because he likes to be like the oldest, and he looks a lot older than
Right.
55. He's leaning into like being like an old crank.
Like, I'm an old man, and Rudy's always like, "You're not. I'm older than you."
I'm older than
it's
you. And he hates that.
Right.
And what kind of work did you do before your death?
He was a traveling vacuum salesman.
I love it.
Now you may wonder, when was the vacuum invented? It was invented in 1901.
Hey, well, there you go.
So we
called them suckers at the time.
We called them suckers. Yeah. We called them carpet suckers. Suckers for short. And so we've had 30 years of vacuum technology advancement that has made it affordable enough that I travel around the island of Manhattan.
Right.
Selling vacuums, vacuum accessories, and vacuum repair services.
That's great. And talk to us about your NPC.
I would just say, I think my character, I think Rudy would say, you're selling a lifestyle. You're selling a dream.
I am.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
In a way. Yeah. But a dream with less carpet cleaning.
A dream of cleaner carpets.
Yeah. Less time on your hands and knees because you got a vacuum. Now, a sucker.
Right. That's right. Now you can be just on your knees. Sorry.
Just for fun.
Let's talk about your NPC.
That NPC, I think, is Mrs. Delilah Montgomery.
Mm-hmm.
And she is the last person that I sold a vacuum to.
Oh, great. I like that. Let's see. And you've got either a pack of gum, a rusty switchblade, or a pack of stale cigarettes.
Oh, this is so hard. Is it cigarettes or switchblade? Nah, he fights with his hands. Yeah, it's a pack of stale cigarettes for sure.
Great. And we already know that you lived and worked around the Canal Street station.
That's right.
And you've got an undead move you can choose from.
This one was super easy for me. It's browbeat. When I want to coerce the answers out of an NPC, I doggedly pursue the truth by grilling that NPC. And then I have a lot of options for what I could ask them. And I just feel like that would be both fun and super useful.
So the last thing here in our character creation is just establishing some relationships. I feel like some are already happening here, but you can choose someone who you have a relationship who is your NPC you've already established, someone else. You need to have one relationship with one of your other revenants. So one might say that Augie resents Rudy for being older. One could say that. If you have a reciprocal relationship, then when you're in a scene together, you could re-roll a die. You get a re-roll in a scene with that person. So just quickly think about what you'd like that to be. Let's bounce back to Matthew. So you can say, I trust someone, I resent someone, and someone rubs me the wrong way. You can choose no one, everyone, one of the revenants, an NPC, yourself.
Look, I want to say that that maybe Mia has been to see me speak. Would that be okay? If that's something, because you don't necessarily remember having done it, as that is your nature. But maybe you see me speak, and I just trust her to do what's to make it in this world.
Great, I like that.
And I don't resent anyone other than myself when the curtains are drawn, and I'm not happy about. Well, I'm not taking any of my own advice,
Perfect. That's great. Mia, how about you? Who do you
I do
trust?
like
Who do you
that.
resent? Who rubs you the wrong way?
I do like that. I feel like I would vaguely trust Rudy because I probably have
Mm-hmm.
seen you speak somewhere. So you spark a memory or something.
You
Mm-hmm.
can always go to the front of my talks as well, because there's seldom people there. So.
You can sit right in the front row. So
Best
whenever
seat
you
in the
two are
house.
in a scene together, you can re-roll a die.
Oh, cool.
So, and then anyone you resent, anyone rub you the wrong way?
I mean, I'm kind of annoyed at Grammy, my gramophone, because
Grammy.
it's heavy. Grammy is heavy, and I want a day where I don't have to carry Grammy around with me everywhere.
Right, I
So
totally get it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's really only as portable as your determination, right? That's the problem, because it's a large
Right.
piece of
I see
equipment.
what we're in for in this game. We're gonna
I
get a
knew there was
lot
a
of
reason.
platitudes from Matthew.
There is a reason I went to see you speak. Yes.
All right, and Augie, how about you? Who do you trust? Who do you resent? Who rubs you the wrong way?
I definitely trust Mia. Augie likes women and animals. Like, he just naturally trusts women and animals. He's usually talking to women because women were in charge of the house, right? And so they would be the ones buying the
He's used to it,
vacuum
yeah.
or convincing their husbands to buy the vacuum in the 1930s. And he likes animals, especially pets, because they have a lot of hair. And that means you need
That
to
makes a lot of
vacuum.
sense.
So
Yeah,
that's how he logically justifies it. But
Mhm.
it's just because he's kind of a softie, and he was raised
Yeah.
by a single mom, and so he likes women and animals. So he definitely trusts Mia because animals like her, and because she seems like a good, straightforward person. Even though she doesn't seem like the type who would buy a vacuum, he's gonna let that slide.
Right.
Rudy, however, really rubs him the wrong way. Because I think Rudy keeps trying to like give him advice for like how to move up in life, and like how to get promoted in the vacuum cleaning business, how to expand his business. And he's like, I'm doing just fine, thanks. He doesn't like taking advice. He doesn't like
I do.
receiving
I
advice.
use the phrase 10x your lifestyle a lot, and
Uh-huh.
that rubs a lot of people the wrong way.
Yeah. Mostly because he doesn't know what that means. What does that mean? So yeah. But he's not gonna say he resents him. Not yet. He just kind of rubs him the wrong way.
Well, that is basically, those are our characters. And there's also, you'll notice, a place on your sheet for you to say how you died. But in this scenario, you actually don't know how you died. You don't have a memory of the moment where it happened. You're going to have to figure that out. And as you're all like kind of coming to yourselves and remembering at least that what your names are, these people you vaguely remember from your moments of death. Oh, the three of you know each other. You're like, as all of this is coming to you clearly, as you sit in this waiting room, Greta looks up and beckons the three of you to come over to her glass window. Listen up. We've put you back together the best we could, and I dried all your clothes with hellfire. You can thank me later. You headed back to New York. You need to figure out how you died, how your deaths are linked to something sinister, and how to stop whatever killed you from happening in the first place. Here's the deal. If you can stop what killed you from happening again, the big bosses will release you from your current state of undeath, and you can go on your merry way. If you don't figure the puzzle out, well, sadly you'll be stuck in the loop forever, reliving your mistakes for the rest of eternity. That's a long time, so you best get a move on. Just go through those doors. You'll see like a beige door just like kind of suddenly like appears in the wall and starts to open, and it's just like a bright shining light through it. Go through those doors, blink twice, you'll be back in the Big Apple. And good luck, you're gonna need it.
Greta, what I'm going to say to you is turn up an hour before everyone else, leave an hour later, and you can 10x that lifestyle. One day you will be the boss.
Well, thank you for that advice. I'll take it to heart.
Write it down on
She
a fresh
smacks
piece
her
of paper.
gum.
Write it down on a fresh piece of paper, and do some crunches. Always good for everyone.
What is the crunch? What is the crunch?
It's
How can you do them?
You can look. If it's about 10xing your lifestyle, everyone, I just can't say that enough, and I need to say it again. 10x. It just.
I don't know what that means. I don't want to know what it means. You can keep it to yourself. Thank you. My lifestyle is fine with 0 X's. Hey, but I got a lot of X's in Harlem. Hey.
As you say this, you feel like an energy from that open door starting to pull you, and the three of you are kind of.
No, we want to stay in this
through
waiting room for a while.
that doorway. You blink once. Nothingness fills your ears. You blink once more. You open your eyes. You find yourself staring up at you're not sure what, and then you feel like there's something hard. Oh, you're laying on the floor. You shake your head. You sit up. Your senses kind of return to you from whatever that trip was traveling back here. And you start to slowly take in your surroundings, and you figure out this. You are in a decommissioned subway car on a side track. But you're not too far from the hustle and bustle of the main line. You feel the rumble of nearby trains, and the stagnant air shifts ever so slightly. What's left of your nose wrinkles at the pungent odor that wafts past. You must be close to a sewer. You also notice that you yourself are, like your hair, your clothes are dry. Greta said that they were dry, but your hair is like a bit damp. You smell kind of like musty and a bit yourself like sewage.
So you're saying there's nowhere to go but up?
There's nowhere to go but up.
So that's great.
Matthew, you're a little too good at this. You're a little too good at this.
What an opportunity we have for a fresh, brand new day. Let's make the most of it, people.
So, what do you do?
Well, I'm going to check my pockets. Do I have anything other than, the pack of stale cigarettes or...
Just the pack of stale cigarettes. That's the only thing in there.
Mm-hmm. Maybe I'll look around this subway car then. Is it totally empty?
Yep, just the three of you in there. Just in this subway car.
Well,
all right. Well, we're not going to find anything down here, are we? We better go up topside.
The only thing we could possibly find in here is ourselves. And that's something worth striving for. But
all right. When Rudy starts to talk, Augie just starts to leave. Okay, that's enough of it.
I would get to our feet and try. I like just check in with that myself. I do some mindful breaths, some mindful breaths.
Right. As you actually check in, you start to feel you've got like puncture wounds in your body, almost that look like it could be weird long teeth marks.
I was thinking it would look like Death Becomes Her. I've just got a whole big like cannonball.
Not one big hole. It's a lot of little holes all the way down.
Whoa.
Do we all have that or just him?
Yeah, if you check and you look, you all have what feels like these long teeth marks.
Yeah, I kind of like funny. Just lift. Yeah, I lift my shirt up and go, anyone else seen this?
Whoa.
Crunches. Also, yes, are those his teeth marks?
Now I get it.
Bam! Six-pack abs with little puncture wounds all the way through.
Punctures. Barely got in. Barely got purchased.
I'm looking at myself like, oh, that's weird. How did that get here? I don't remember that. Huh.
So that's what a crunch is. Okay.
So if we've all been crunched, what's happening? So we could, let's get going and start. Do we kind of know what we're doing in a sense? Like, do we know we know we've got to go?
You know what Greta told us.
We
Yeah,
just
you
know what
know
you
that
told us, right?
there is some event related to your death that needs to be stopped, or you're going to be stuck in basically this Groundhog Day loop of
Yeah.
the night of your death for all of eternity. And so for people watching, if you're playing this game in like a longer form campaign, you get 4 time loops before you are stuck for all of eternity. We will be doing 3 time loops, just for since we're doing just a one shot. So if you can't solve this mystery in 3 time loops, you're stuck here. And I'll let you know as we. There is this board here. So you would have this normally in front of you during the game that lets you know. You'll get memories during loops and time. I will be tracking time as it passes, and things that happen at different locations.
I guess
Cool.
we kind of like just say. I guess it's got something to do with the fact that we've all got teeth marks. So we should. Is that a clue? I want to say it's a clue. That there's a clue.
That feels like a clue. That feels like a clue. Right? Like I mean, the teeth marks is probably how we died, and we got to figure out something about how we died in this shattering event. Now, call me crazy, but if these are teeth marks, what kind of beast has teeth like this? It
Should
doesn't
we
look
go
like
to the?
people teeth, does it?
Should we spend a day in the zoo?
I
Is there a
love
world fair?
zoos.
We could do that. World fair? That's also possible this time. We could go to the world fair.
I also love
If
the
it's in
zoo.
possibly the circus. But those really are our 3
Hmm.
options.
I don't like the circus. I don't like the circus. They're too bossy at the circus, telling all the animals what to do. I'm not into it. I tried to sell a vacuum to P.T. Barnum, and he was very rude.
You wouldn't stop singing.
Now, if you would like,
very handsome, but rude.
you do know that there is a menagerie up in Central Park. If you were to head up to the Upper West Side station, you could travel there, and check out the zoo, the menagerie that is there, if that's something that you want to do.
Seems like a good place to start.
I like it.
I
A
like
menagerie
that
is just
idea.
a zoo that's just exactly. A menagerie is a zoo that's aspiring to be better than it could be. It's great, and I appreciate that about it.
A zoo with a fancy name. A zoo that's been to college.
That's
Been to college. Let's say you walk there. You can take the subway, or you can walk. It doesn't make that much difference in terms of time. So if it's all right with you, I think that in order for you to kind of get a sense of your general surroundings and what's going on, perhaps you decide to come above ground out of the station you're currently in and walk up to this 86th Street menagerie. Is that all right with all of you?
Sounds
you're
ideal.
rolling.
I love walking.
You're rolling dice, which does make me nervous.
You
You went to and go to this menagerie. Cool. Yeah.
So as you come out of the station, you realize that you are at 129th Street, which is Harlem. And Rudy, you recognize this well because this is your old stomping grounds. You find yourselves wandering through the nearby neighborhoods. It's a mostly residential area. The streets are bare, except with the exception of workers on their way to or from their jobs. It is nighttime. It is roughly, at this point, probably about 8:30 at night. It's the Great Depression, so some people who are going to or from their jobs, it's not the best hours in the world, but they're happy to just have some jobs. So as you're walking through Harlem and making your way south down to the Upper West Side to get to the menagerie on 86th Street, you walk by an old bookstore, and it looks like someone is just like throwing books from inside the store out, like into a pile on the street. It looks like they are getting ready to just discard a bunch of things as you walk by.
So Rudy gets kind of nervous because he's worried that there might be copies of his book, How to Dream Big Dreams, The Dreaming Big for Dreamers. And that's nerve-wracking thing that they're just shoving copies of that out, because it's a great book. Honestly, it's a great book. And so I want to rush over there immediately just to check, because I'm hoping it's actually a rival's book, at least. You know? It's like,
all right. Yeah. You know, rush over. You want to make it investigate?
Yeah, I'm going to investigate the hell out of this, because...
All right, so this is a basic move. So you'll be doing an investigate basic move. And
are we still in Harlem? I like to think we kind of are.
We are in Harlem, so you will get to roll a third d6, and then you'll take the highest value. Now, do you think you can argue with me? Do you think you'd like to use your resolve, your nerve, your calm, your vigor?
I'll argue with you on almost anything.
I would say you're probably using vigor, because you're enthusiastic about, you're like, I'm going to find and I'm going to prove to myself that these are my rivals' books, right? So
I get a +2 on this, right?
Mm-hmm. Roll 3 dice, take the higher value of the 2, and then add 2 to it.
I rolled 2 6s and a 5, so an 8. Best roll of the game. That's it. Done. Spent.
That's amazing. So actually 2 6s and a 5, you're adding 2 of them together. So that's a 12, 13, 14.
14.
That is a resounding success.
And I did that by dreaming big.
You dreamed big.
I dreamed big. I saw it in my mind palace first, and now I'm dreaming big.
So you get to choose 2 of the things here under investigate that I can give you information on. What you can ask what you notice about your surroundings that seems important. Maybe you meet an NPC, you find an item that reminds you about your past, or because you have gotten a success, this kind of a success, a 10 or greater. As you're doing this, you run over and you start looking through all of the books. There is almost like a cold, like shiver that goes by you, and you kind of out of the corner of your eye, you see this like shadowy energy that you can't quite see, because every time you look, it's like stays in your peripheral vision. This is a watcher.
Does it have a good energy about it?
It does not. It has a weird energy about it. And as more watchers are people, spirits who are stuck. They're not in limbo. They're not alive. And they don't want you to succeed in what you're doing. So the more watchers you attract, the more you might struggle to succeed in your roles when you make checks. So when you have a success of 10 or greater, when you get to choose 2 things under your move, one of them can be that watcher doesn't actually stick around.
Well, I want the watcher to stick around, because I want the watcher to come in and see the power of dreaming big for dreamers. So
great.
And this is why you rub me the wrong way.
And so I would like to. So I want to meet this NPC who's the person throwing these books out, and I want to, I guess, find an item. Like you find an item that reminds you of something of your past. That might be helpful.
Great. Okay, so you see a woman throwing. She's the one throwing these books away, and you also see. Actually, you notice next to, like, just in the doorway of this old bookstore, a vacuum cleaner.
I thought you were going to say. I thought you were going to say you see a man in there, and I was like, "It's 1930s. I will speak to the man." But I ignore the woman and speak directly to the man of the household. But there's a vacuum cleaner inside. Okay.
Yeah, and Augie, you recognize this woman throwing these books away as Mrs. Delilah Montgomery.
Hey, I know you. I know you. I sold you that vacuum cleaner. Mrs. Delilah Montgomery, a pleasure to reacquaint myself with your beautiful countenance.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Yes, of course. You sold me that vacuum, and I'm just cleaning out this building. I'm going to be setting it up as my own shop, and whoever left here didn't take all of their inventory with them, and I don't need these books. So.
Well, congratulations on your new shop. How is the vacuum working? It's going well?
Oh, it's great. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for selling it to me. And then as she like looks at you, she's like starting to like notice like something seems weird, right? She goes, "Do you smell that? It's kind of like the smell of the sewer. Oh, I hope the sewers aren't backing up again."
Oh, no, it's probably all these old books. You know, they soak up weird smells from the sewer grates. It's a good thing you're throwing them out. Now, I would love to persuade, I think.
Okay.
I want to try and persuade her.
Okay.
To just tell me everything about like what's going on here. Or maybe I don't need to persuade her. Maybe she'll just tell me.
Well, why don't you make a persuade check? And as you're doing that, you will roll 2d6. Matthew also you wanted what was the other thing you wanted? Remind me, Matthew, an item to remind you about your past?
Yeah, I need an NPC who you recognize from your past and find an item, yeah.
And sorry, I made this about someone else's past.
But we're a team. We're a team.
We are a team.
We are a team.
So you will find an item, and that is, I'm going to actually give you, give me a number. You're going to get a memory card.
2.
Let me see, where is, great.
Chooses 1, then he chooses 2. What will he choose next?
I do want to. I'm inspired by this lady's resolve, and I just want to tell her that I'm proud of the fact that she's leveling up. She's 10x in her life. She's following her dreams, and that I respect the hell out of that. You know, someone who's following their passion, that's fantastic. And you know, you are really a mixture of the people that you meet and the books that you read. Let's be real. So I'm telling her, I think she's to keep some of these books and read them if they're by me.
While he's telling her that, can I just take one of the books since she's throwing them out anyway?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. You can definitely just take a book. She doesn't want them. Mia picks up a book. Meanwhile, Rudy, you see a book as well. The one perhaps that Mia has picked up. You look at it and you notice that it is a book. It's a collection of maps of the city, like a was that a Thomas guide?
It's a lonely planet for Manhattan
of the city, and you're not quite sure yet what this is, but it's like there's a little like niggling feeling in the back of your brain that there's something about maps that's important, and you're not sure what it is yet.
Well, life's a map, right? You pick the destination.
But you know, there might be a map in there that means something to you, and maybe at some point that memory will fully form. Well,
I say out loud that a goal is just a dream until you write it down. It doesn't have anything to do with anything, but I just thought of that, and I should write that down. So, yeah, okay, I pick up this.
In the next book.
I should do.
Yeah. And I will let everyone know, not that you need justification about where my brain was, but in this image, it felt to me like this guy was working on a book. And so
that's definitely a box.
You get your book of maps.
But yes.
Well, it's a box that holds a book.
A box could have a book inside it, Paula. It has a dream inside it.
Good. Box has a dream inside of it. Okay, so Mary Lou was rolling, Augie was rolling to try and persuade
Yes.
Miss Delilah Montgomery to talk about some things. So, what did you roll? 2d6s, please.
5 and a 5.
Okay, that makes it 10. So you get to choose 2 things from this persuade.
I'm gonna. I don't like people watching me. So no
Mhm.
watches to the loot board. I choose that.
Okay. All right.
And
There's just one there.
see ya.
But the one that would have been added from this doesn't show up.
Gone. And then I think I want to prompt the NPC to just tell me something important. Tell me, right? Because she's the last person I sold a vacuum to before I died. She's got this bookstore that has a book in it, that has a map that's important to us. And Mia, you were an author, right? Or yeah. So like
Trying to be.
like trying to be an author, an aspiring author. And I feel like she's got something important to tell us. So I want her to tell me something important.
And Mrs. Delilah looks at you for a moment and now, isn't the last place I saw you 14th Street?
14th Street, huh?
There's something. I don't know. I've just got this strange feeling. You know the feeling of deja vu.
Sure, I'm very familiar.
It almost feels like that. Like I just have a sense that the last time I saw you was on 14th Street, and for some reason I wasn't expecting to see you again. But how could...
But you didn't.
I don't know what that means.
Me neither. But thank you so much, darling, for your candor and for purchasing a vacuum. And good luck.
Oh, yes, it works great. I will recommend you to all of my friends.
Thank you. Augie suckers, the best in the business.
That's right. Well, I'm going to get back to cleaning out my bookstore, and I guess the rest of you should. It's late. You should probably be getting on home. Thanks for stopping and chatting. And she looks at Mia. Enjoy the book. Enjoy the collection of maps. And yes. And she just goes back to her like pulling like garbage out of this shop she's taken over.
Huh. So what do you think? Should we change tack? Should we head on back to the menagerie or to straight to 14th Street? Sounds like some place important.
We were going off almost nothing, right? So now we got something. Let's do it. 14th Street. I feel good about it. I know that I tell people in my book to ignore your feelings because they only make you feel terrible. So just bury those. Bury those right down. Great advice.
Good advice. That's actually good advice.
So
I was going to say perhaps we should go to the menagerie in the morning when it's open. If it's 8:30 at night right now, maybe it's not open.
Oh, this is a very good point, Mia. You are very thoughtful.
I like that. Yeah, let's go to 14th Street and mooch about, I guess is the technical term.
Sure.
Mooch about.
Great.
We'll mooch about.
All right, so you make your way to 14th Street, which on the map...
Even I know that is an incredible distance from where we are.
It is down here in Union Square, I believe.
I once walked from like Union Square up to the Upper East Side, and it took more than an hour. It was a long way.
Yeah.
So...
We've got time.
We can take the train.
Time. We could take the train.
Either way, whatever you prefer, it will get you there. It doesn't make much of a difference in terms of the time of the game.
Let's walk then.
Passing. So either way, you make your way down to 14th Street, right around that Union Square station. And I'm just on our loop board here, just so you know what I'm doing is time is passing. You're hearing a clock chime about 10 p.m. About 2 hours have
We hear
passed
that?
since you woke up. Yes.
That
Just one of the churches as you walk by.
I was like, it's not just the ominous clock of death walking around with us all the time.
No.
Okay.
It's just like a church bell ringing 10 p.m. And there's a bit of a typo here. This should be location 1, 2, 3, 4. But so under location 1, if we were playing in real life, you would see I would write on here. Let's see. We are going to 14th Street so that you can keep track of how things and how things are going. As you approach 14th Street, you see it's dominated, of course, by a statue of George Washington astride a horse. Union Square has been in decline of late, however. It is the Great Depression. Older homes have been turned into tenement houses for day laborers and those newly arrived to this great country. Real estate values have plummeted.
Is that in there? This great country, just because you can't stop, can you? It's like a compulsion with you people.
Sorry, it's just facts. Just facts.
Just facts.
You pivot as you hear voices. A few men carrying sticks over their shoulders are speaking loudly at the entrance to a dark and smoke-filled building. The electric sign above a long, dark stairwell leading to the second floor says Julian Billiards, with a smaller painted sign underneath reading Ladies Invited. The sign next to the door reads 6 tables and tennis. Very fast tables.
Well, nothing bad happened in a smoky room full of men in the 1930s, so I think we're safe to go in.
Well, it could be interesting. There could be some information here. And Julian, that kind of sounds like Giuliani, which is a name that I've heard.
Sure.
Around
Giuliani Assange. And that's his name.
Beautiful.
Let's go. So,
Incredible.
do we look decent enough to go in kind of unfettered, would be the word? Or
Well,
fetid,
you
I
are
suppose,
starting
is
to
the
notice
word.
as you are a bit fetid. You're noticing that bits of your physical form are starting to like feel like they're kind of falling apart. You kind of as you move, you might feel like a shoulder kind of knock, and you kind of have to like subtly like kind of like plock it back into place. That's the technical term.
Mhm.
You might occasionally be like, oh, a chunk of hair, cool. You are corpses that have been reanimated, and so you do need to have some awareness of how you're presenting yourself and hoping that there's a bit of a veil that most people won't see through, but you get the sense that you do need to be a bit careful in like how close you get to people, how much interacting you do, because they might be able to see through the veil and see that there's something off about you.
Got it.
Before we go into any buildings, I know it's New York and it's kind of a cement city, but is there a tree I could talk to in the area?
Boy,
That's a great
is
question.
there a tree here? Do an investigate for me. Let's see. So you'll investigate, and let's have you use. Let's see. You need to do a.
Maybe there's some lovely hanging baskets.
You know what? There are like some like bits of like dandelion weeds like sprouting out
In between the
between
cracks.
like the cracks in the sidewalk.
Perfect.
I stifle my compulsion to talk about what determination can do for the human spirit, but it's I'm feeling it. I'm writing a note.
So actually because of that, that's very city. Like you don't need to investigate to find that. You see those.
It's there.
So
Okay.
you can do your one with nature check.
Okay.
And because you had the like positivity to think that you could find this in the middle of this concrete city, as you said, I think that you were doing this with vigor, which is your ability to stay enthusiastic in uncertain situations. So you can do a one with nature, roll 2d6, and you will add a +2 to that because that is your vigor stat.
Okay. That would be a 9. I mean, and if there are like rats or cockroaches, that would do too, I think.
Yeah, so a 9 means that is a success. You get to choose one of these options underneath the one with nature. So you can speak to the plant to gain some insight. You can check the plants for any physical clues. You can use the flowers in the area to stir up pollen or ask the rats to swarm, allowing you and your team to escape or cause a commotion. Probably not the one you need right now, but
That one. Do
But
that
I'll
one.
hold
Save
it
that for later.
right. I mean, dandelions don't live super long, but perhaps we could help me out. What questions should we ask them?
Well, I say better a short life well lived than a long life lived with regret. But
That
also,
is true.
we could ask if if they've seen any shady folk,
Any
and
shady
not us,
folk.
other than us.
Or if they've seen animals that could cause what our scarring looks like.
That is an
Oh,
even better.
yeah.
Or like a shark wearing a hat. That is shady in itself.
A land shark.
Could be that.
A street
Let's
shark
ask
from
let's
the
ask the
80s.
dandelions that. If they would know what
Mhm.
caused our markings, if they've seen any animals that could cause that kind of a marking.
okay. How do you commune with this dandelion?
Oh gosh. Okay, this is gonna sound so stupid. But I feel like
no, it won't.
I feel like we have to just mind meld, so I'm gonna just get on
I
the
was gonna
ground
say
and
mind meld.
basically,
Mind meld's
like
the
put
best.
my like if this is the dandelion,
Mhm.
I'm putting my forehead right to it.
Mm-hmm.
It looks
That's
like I'm
exactly
kissing the
what I was
ground.
picturing.
So cute.
So Mia's down on all fours, head pressed against the dandelion.
Doing
And
one of
through
these.
that, you get just like from my mind to your
Your mind, your my thought. Yeah, we're cool.
And you get filled with images mostly from this dandelion. And they are images of not the above ground world. Just like a fogginess where you feel like what the dandelion is saying to you is whatever caused this, we haven't seen here. You get a feeling of dankness, you get a sense of darkness and maybe something like subterranean feeling.
Ooh, the sewers
That's
of the
kind of the
subway.
sense that you are getting from the dandelion.
What's it saying?
That is very interesting.
Guys, it's saying subterranean, dark and damp.
That's not the most positive message we've received today, but
But you
It
can
is
make
also
it
the
into
only-
something, I'm sure, Rudy.
It
well,
is a
a
clue.
tree only grows as strong as its deepest root. So I will say that.
As Rudy says this, you actually all notice there's a slight commotion happening just off to the side of the entryway to the
Julian Billiards.
Julian's Billiards.
The pool hall.
And that some of these men that you had seen walk by with their pool sticks look like they are now talking
I'm gonna have to
to
stop you
a
there.
young woman.
I apologize. You need to say pool cues, Paula. Come on. Did you just say pool
Instead of-
sticks?
Sure.
Pool
Yeah.
cue. It's a cue.
Oh. Okay.
Can't have that on the internet. Are we crazy?
All right, don't mind me. I'm just gonna roll something here to say for later with Matthew. Questioning his fate
Then
weaver.
swing your golf stick. Sorry, I'll just.
What about my cricket stick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
yes,
And
yeah.
your baseball stick and yeah.
Your hockey stick. Oh, can't get me on that
That
one.
one is a stick. That one is a stick.
one's
That is
good.
true, yeah.
So they've got what an uneducated person might call a stick, but you know they're pool cues
Okay, thanks. That's
for
better.
playing pool. And they are talking to a young woman. She's carrying something kind of wrapped up in some fabric. She's in these kind of like flowing clothes. And you notice that they are offering to buy her a drink, and she is trying to politely say no thank you, but as she tries to like take the next step down the street, they kind of like move down with her.
Uh-oh. Haha. Sorry, folks. We're going to have to take a quick break. And Augie is going to head on over to this altercation. 'Cause he doesn't like it when he sees ladies being pushed around.
All right. And what do you do?
She's just going to... Augie's just going to try and, like, get their attention. Hey, fellas! See, I was all the way on the other side of the street, and I even could hear the nice lady saying that she didn't want to get a drink with you. So that's so crazy that you couldn't hear it when you were so much closer. But the polite...
Well, we could hear it, but we just didn't like... I don't think that's what she means, though. Isn't that right? She wants a drink. Who doesn't want a drink? Paid for by somebody else? Come on, it's tough time. She doesn't want a drink?
I don't want a drink. I don't want a drink. And if she says
well, I don't want to buy a drink for you.
Well, good. Good. Because I don't want one. And I think you should let the lady go. But Miss Lady...
I nudge...
What do you think?
I'm going to nudge Mia and say, see, this isn't... They've not come into this with positive mindsets. This is why this is happening.
And you're
Do you
right.
know what I mean? Can you feel this?
This is not the power of positivity, is what you're saying.
This isn't the power of positive thinking. You know, that's not what this is.
How about Augie? Why don't you make a persuade check for me?
Don't mind
to see if you can convince these guys to just let this young lady move on. And let's see here. I think you are doing this with nerve. The ability to do something that requires confidence in oneself. I think this takes nerve to approach these guys. So that's a +1 for you. So roll 2d6 and then add a 1 to whatever your total is.
Ooh, I just rolled an 11. So
holy moly.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So you can choose some things here. These guys can give you something you want. They can, an NPC can tell you something important. An NPC will go where you tell them to. You can gain a re-roll to use later in another scene. You can also choose to not add a watcher to the loop board because this success will put another one on there. And once you get 2 on here, you're going to all start taking a -1 to your die rolls.
Ooh. But right now we have 0, and this would just make it 1.
You have 1 because you would have had a second one, but you kept that one from coming. So there's 1 that's just kind of been like following you around, and that's actually what is kind of like, it's enough of breaking through the kind of veil you have protecting you to have that presence following you, that's kind of what's starting to make you like fall apart a bit more. That's what you've noticed.
Okay, then I'm definitely I don't want to have 2 watchers because that would be -1 to all of our rolls. So no, I'm going to take the watcher off the board.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to have this NPC go where I tell him to.
Okay.
I'm going to say, hey, buddy. And then maybe I'm going to strategically lift the veil just a little bit. Just a little bit. I'm going to go, hey, buddy, I think it would be really good for you if you and your little friends would have maybe scoot on down to the next pool hall, huh? Because we don't want you here. And I maybe he sees the gets under my skin and like sees face drooping just a little bit.
That's exactly what he sees, and he's like, come on, fellas, it's not even worth it. We can find another dame. And they him and his 2 buddies. Just gonna roll again because Matthew is again giving me a hard time.
I wasn't giving you a hard time, but you said dame. You said dame, which makes me feel like they're about to get back on their horses and ride off.
Right. But they head off and they go into the pool hall, and the young woman sitting in there says, thank you so much. I really appreciate your help. They just wouldn't leave me alone. My name is Isabel Bishop.
Nice to meet you, Isabel Bishop. What is a young lady doing here at a pool hall in such a seedy neighborhood? Not that you aren't allowed. It does say ladies invited. You're
Yes,
welcome to
ladies
have a
are
good
invited.
time. But, you know,
I
I
say
just want
she's
you to be a
plenty
little more
seedy
careful.
enough if she wants to be here. You know, that's great.
Well,
yes. Well, I really was just walking by. I was coming from setting up for an art exhibit that I have coming up, and I was just taking this piece that she has rolled up in some cloth, and I was just taking it back to my apartment. Actually, would you mind walking me there? It's just a couple blocks further, but I'm a little shaken.
well, I don't think me and my friends would mind at all, would we?
Let's
Rudy?
go.
Look, we got to
Mia?
get 10,000 steps in. I'm happy to try. That's great. Let's do it.
Fantastic.
Do it.
Yeah, of course we'll walk you, Miss
Great,
Bishop.
wonderful.
So you're an
Thank you.
artist.
Yeah, and you all start kind of walking down. It's just a couple blocks to her apartment. You start walking. Yes, I really like to just paint what I see. And there's so many people just out and about on the streets these days, out of work, that there's so many people to see. And so I just, I sit out and I paint them. And some of the pieces are starting to get shown in some of the galleries.
Wow, that's incredible. Maybe we could see some of your paintings.
Or your
Oh,
vision board.
I do actually put together images of things that I see. This is, sometimes I just feel compelled. I do almost have a vision and I feel compelled to paint it, but I decided that this one wasn't good enough it shouldn't be displayed for others. So that's why I'm bringing it back to my apartment with me.
Oh, well, what's wrong with it?
It's upsetting to look at. I wouldn't want to show it to you if you didn't want to.
Well, look, we're all, I mean, my friends won't mind us saying, we're all pretty unpleasant to look at, right? So, go, show us or show us. Just love to see it. If it
We're
came from
very
your
brave
heart.
folks.
Super
All right.
brave.
Well, this is my apartment right here. If you want to just like step up inside, I'll set it up for you. So she'll just let you like into her little one room studio apartment. You can see that she, sleeps in one corner, she paints in the other, and she kind of furls the painting and just like kind of like tacks it up so you can see. And what you see there is a painting of a man walking through the streets, but there is something off about him. He almost looks like he's got these subtle frog-like features to him. Some like his eyes feel bulbous, and he's got like protrusions on his head and his body. It just feels off. And as she shows it to you and steps back to look at it, she kind of like shudders. I've been seeing this man walking through the streets at all hours of the night. I have insomnia, so sometimes I sit up and I watch, and he's always coming from the southwest where the university campus is, and he heads north, and there's just something very disturbing about it, but I couldn't stop myself from painting it. Just like I had to get it out of my mind and onto the canvas, but I don't know.
Well,
Frog
this is
Steinbeck.
this is certainly a individualistic looking character.
Yes, I've never seen anything quite like him.
And you say he comes from the southwest, from the university?
Yes, exactly.
Does he do anything? Is he carrying anything ever? Or does he talk to anyone?
I just see him. I've always seen him just by himself, just looking very strange, and that's it. I never see him talking to anyone, but it does look like he's coming from NYU. and then heading, like I said, heading north.
Very interesting. What a spectacular painting. I think you have a gift for catching the individual.
Thank you.
You really captured a
thank you.
spirit here.
I appreciate that. And as she says that, you hear again another church bell ringing, and you know that it is now 1 a.m.
All right, well, me and my compatriots, we have places to be, unfortunately. But it has been a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Miss Bishop.
Thank you again for your help. Maybe at some point I could paint one of you if you come back by again.
Oh, not my ugly mug. Maybe Miss Mia. She is definitely the most comely of our little trio.
Aw, I think all of us. It would be fun to have a group portrait.
She would say.
Well, maybe tomorrow.
She would
tomorrow. Come back by in the daylight, and I'll paint the 3 of you together.
Paint us like how, like as a vision, like how we want to be in the future. Like you could possibly. I mean, I'm just saying, you could possibly paint me in front of a large crowd, maybe in a political setting. I don't know. I'm just saying these are things like so I can look at that, and because that's how it works. You gotta dream. The power of dreaming big is that you got to dream big for dreamers.
Right.
Do you know? Does that make sense?
Yes, I dream all the time.
And that
Rudy,
painting,
she is a realistic painter, not a surrealist painter. So maybe that's a little too crazy, huh? What do you think?
Well, I turn back to her and say, "Look, well, that painting's truly horrific, and I appreciate you for it. It's wonderful." And I leave.
Great. So you all leave here, and like I said, it is now 1 a.m. Would you like to go to another location? Let's look at our map here. Is there anywhere? I know you had spoken about at one point the menagerie. That's still an option. You can wander around, see what you can do. You can visit any of these locations here, and let me know if you have any thoughts.
Is there a way for us to like kind of go towards the university then? Maybe we can bump into this fellow.
A university campus should have trees and plants.
They should. You're right. You are very right about that, Miss Mia.
And I like it because it's full of so many aspirational minds, you know, with possibly disposable incomes to purchase a book. And that is fantastic, really, when you think about it. So
I like it because there's so many janitors.
It's just a win-win-win.
Who might need a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, you can just start heading. She says, she normally sees him coming from the southwest. So if you want to start heading down that way, then that's perfect.
Let's do it.
As we're walking, I say to Rudy, perhaps when this is all over, we should do a book tour together. One of my novels and your Dream Big book.
That is an aspirational idea that we can 10x. And I'm glad you mentioned it because I was thinking that, but sometimes I don't have my own advice and I was nervous to say. So I'm glad you said that. It's a great idea. What kind of book are you doing?
I'm thinking maybe I'll write about our experiences tonight.
Ooh.
Just writing what you know. I like that.
You can come join us and sell your vacuums.
Incredible, a captive audience. Yeah, I think I could make that work.
We could do a bit where I kind of like, I don't know, someone could spill some popcorn, and you could just like, you know what I mean? You could come
demonstration.
Just it's just happened. It's not real. We haven't planned this, you know.
Rudy, maybe you do have some good ideas. Like,
I'll 10x that. I'll 10x anything.
I still do not know what that means, and I don't like it.
I'm not sure about the X thing either.
Student debt. As you're having this conversation, you find that you have wandered your way all the way down to City Hall. It's taken you a little while to get there, and the clock chimes again, and you know that your evening is quickly heading toward the wee hours of the morning. Now, normally at City Hall, it's busy. It's a pretty busy area with people of great importance coming and going on official city business. But in the evening, of course, it's quieter, and right now it is 3, 4 in the morning. So there's basically no one around here. But you do notice, I'm not sure which one of you, perhaps one of you, who's got, let's see, let's have everyone make, I want all of you to do an investigate basic move. Because I want to see who is going to notice this. And I think it's resolve. Everyone use your resolve, because you've been walking and you're just like, you're looking for whatever. You're just looking for information. What could be useful? Yeah. So add your resolve to whatever that is.
I rolled a 5.
I rolled a 6.
7. Oh!
Ooh. Good. Somebody rolled something.
Okay. So both Mia and Rudy don't notice anything, and you actually are both going to take an experience point. So you can mark that down. If you get 3 experience points, you'll get to add a new undead move to your repertoire. So right now you both have 1. But with a 7, Augie is the one who notices on the ground there is a theater program that you find on the ground, and kind of scrawled on it, you see the words "Public Meeting Regarding the State of Our Sewers, City Hall, 7:30 p.m. Superintendent Edward May presiding." And you can tell it's been like crumpled and left on the ground, making you think like this is something someone had it and then they left this meeting and just kind of tossed it, because it's New York City. Trash just goes on the street, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
it's an island made of trash. Okay, the sewer pamphlet. And this Superintendent Edward May? Very interesting. Is there a picture of this Edward May, perhaps, on the pamphlet?
There is not. Yeah.
Interesting. Well, this is very, very, very interesting to us. We already know we're looking for something subterranean, and there's some frogman out there who keeps coming and going from this area. And there was a meeting today, earlier, at 7:30 p.m. I wonder what they talked about.
Next time you loop back round, we could attend.
I think that's a good idea. I think that's a very good idea. I think we got to see what happened at this meeting at 7:30 p.m.
I was going to ask, are there any plants in the area that perhaps people had conversations under that I could talk to?
Ooh.
Yeah, there is. There are like some trees, right outside of City Hall, like the kind, like one little tree with a little like, one of those little like fences around it, and another little tree, the little fence on either side of like the stairs that lead up to City Hall.
And all of those trees started off just as seeds, but the potential to be a tree was inside them the whole time.
All along.
Right.
So I just want to point. I'm just going to point that out and then move on. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you want to do your special undead move and one
7
with nature. Was that just on the dice, or have you? Let's do. Again, I think this is resolve, because you were trying to persist in this situation and finding a tree. So that actually you have a 0 in resolve.
Yeah.
So just you will add nothing. To those dice. 7, great. So you were wanting to, do you want to speak with the plant to gain some insight? Do you want to check the plant for physical clues? Or you can stir up the pollen, but again, I don't know that that's probably what you want to do right now.
Well, we did find the clue about the meeting. I don't know if we need more. I would like to speak with the most intelligent and wise-looking plant in the area.
The oldest tree.
And then how to...
Right, of the two young saplings.
They're just freshly planted by the works, the WPA, right? The Works Project Administration. Putting people work. It has a little plaque, on there saying that that's who put it in there, and that this tree will grow into a great mighty oak. Today, we would actually see it's no longer a sapling. So the best you can see is the sapling, but Mia goes over to the sapling. You press your forehead, I imagine, up against the bark of this tree, and you do get a vision of two men stood under this tree, having a conversation, and you can't catch the words, but you can tell that they're riled up about something, and they both look like they have some authority. And when you see this, because you're not really catching any audio or anything from it, but you're just seeing this transpire, it feels like the sun is definitely set in this. So this is an early nighttime kind of conversation that's happening, and that's the image that you get. And as you kind of come out of that vision, what do you?
I tell my friends this, and I also say, I think from here on out we should probably talk to rats or cockroaches or any other animals in the area. Perhaps they can hear things, unlike these plants.
That's something with ears. Yeah, I like it. I like that plan. That makes sense.
That makes sense. But an argument at night, maybe they came out of this meeting and something about the meeting frustrated them, and they got in some sort of tiff. Huh. Interesting.
There should have been positive thinking, I feel like, because that would have helped the whole thing. You've got to calm those. They just, as I say, shove the emotions right down to the very bottom. That's where they belong. We should definitely come here for the meeting tomorrow, I guess. Well, today, but the next today. This is
when
very
we do
confusing.
Today again. Yeah, the next today.
That's how this works, right?
Sure.
And as you say that, that's how this works, right? You actually start to see the sun peek up from the horizon as it begins to rise. There is a bright white flash. And when you open your eyes, you again see some kind of ceiling. You feel something hard under your back, and you realize that you are in an old subway car on a side track in a subway station.
Wow.
And at that point, we are going to take a quick break. Okay, so in between loops, our watchers who are on the board go away. You're restarting your time loop. If you had 3 experience points, you'd be able to add a new move, a new undead move from your playbook to your repertoire. I think at this point we just have 1 point. Matthew and Rachanee, both of your characters just have 1 experience point. But we also get a new memory. So you're starting to remember a bit more about yourself and your past. So once again, I am going to need a number from everyone. Matthew, what number card would you like?
3.
Yeah.
How did I know?
How did I know?
How did I know that that's what? I should have just went on and loaded it in.
I'm a methodical gamer. Let's be real. I'm working through the memories one by one. What we got for me?
We've got this.
Oh, Arthur's brother.
Here's your new memory. Now, here's what I want you to think about, because I'm going to come back to you. Based on this, what does this memory make you feel like you missed the most from when you were living? Think about it.
Gotcha. I've got it. I've got it immediately.
All right. Rachanee, what number You could
How
mess
about-
Matthew up and ask for 4.
No. Couldn't do that. How about 27?
Great. Let that load in.
Is it another inanimate object? Because that'd be amazing.
Yes!
That is my goal in this game.
All inanimate objects. Poor Mia knew no one in real life, but maybe you knew someone who had this inanimate object. So this is it, this bottle of some sort. And I would like to know for you, what dark secret do you remember? This is your inspiration for that. I don't know, something to think about. And Mary Lou, a number for you, please.
32.
All right.
Does that kind of look like a elaborate vape? It does a little bit, doesn't it?
Oh, wait, we already had 32.
Oh.
That was the gramophone, so give me a different number.
42.
Okay. And this is...
A drawing of a side table.
All right.
Bark. Okay.
What does this memory tell you about your family? That's what I want you to think about. And actually, you guys don't even have to say this stuff out loud. And I'm not actually going to make you say it out loud. I want you to just think about that.
Okay.
Think about these as you're like moving forward. And if it's something you decide you want to like share or reveal at some point as we move on, great. And if not, then that's also okay. And we're going to let these memories be for you. Think on those things. Okay. So you wake up, you are in the exact same subway area that you were when you woke up at the beginning of your first day. You are at 129th Street. You were climbed out of the side subway car, but you're still in that station. Where would you like to go? What would you like?
What time is it now? Is it 8
It's
o'clock?
about 9 p.m. Now, in your first loop, you went to Harlem during this time. Then from about 9 to midnight, you were at 14th Street with Isabel. And then from midnight to about like 1, 2 in the morning, you were walking through town. And then you finished out the rest of the morning at City Hall.
I think we should book it down to City Hall, take the train, go all the way down to City Hall, see if we can snoop in on this meeting while it's turning out at the end.
Agreed. Absolutely.
But first, prime talking to a rat kind of location. I'm just going to throw that out there. If we do want to meet a rat, talk to, maybe befriend. So we could do that as well. Nudge. Meet a rat. Make a friend.
I am down with that. I think we are in the subway, so we are still technically down in the subway, right?
Yes, you are.
We
you
are
are down
down
in the subway. You've not gone anywhere yet.
Do we see a rat? I'm guessing yes.
Yeah, you actually, okay, yeah. So I think, like, if this is something that both, it sounds like Rudy and Mia are thinking about, and they work together, so we won't make you roll. You would normally, if you were, like, in a scene together needing to do a check, you'd get an extra die, but I'm going to say that I think that you can do this.
I find the loosest bit of skin that I've got and kind of, like, tear it off.
Ew!
I hang it over the subway, and I entice a rat over to me, and I grab it.
Yeah, you actually see that this rat skitters out. There's like just kind of down in front of you and off to the left. You notice there's like what looks like a small opening, like a crawl through kind of space that the rat, like big enough for a person, but the rat kind of skitters out of that.
Like a Jeffries
notices
tube.
you. Yes, like a Jeffries tube, exactly, but underground and not in space. A rat kind of skitters out, notice your bait, and runs over to you, and you do grab it and Now that you've got it, how do you present this to Mia?
I just kind of like show it Mia, and I kind of like stop touching the rat to Mia's forehead.
Oh, I take the rat. I take that rat out of your hands, and I just cuddle up right next to it. I'm like, yay!
That's beautiful.
Excellent.
All right, so Mia will once again do a one with nature. And because of your relationship with Rudy, you can get a re-roll. If you roll a 6 or less, you could do 1 re-roll. So roll 2 dice. And honestly, to me, it feels like nerve to hold a rat up to your face, but you can argue to me something different if you'd like.
Could be calm.
Yeah,
That's true. You did describe it very calmly. You are maintaining composure under pressure to do this. How does that? Yeah, I'll buy that. You can do
I
this
like
with
that
calm.
because one's +1 and one's -1. So
That's true.
so yeah, 9 then with the +1.
Ah, great. Okay. So, do you want to? Are we trying to speak to the rat? Or are we checking it for physical clues?
Oh, we're speaking to it. Tell me everything you know, my rat friend.
Ask him about.
I know
ask him about
that
the sewers.
there's cheese some places, and I know that I like cheese, and I know that sometimes I do everything. It just starts listing like
maybe.
And I had a brother, and I had a sister, and then I had another brother, and I had another sister, and I had another brother.
Okay,
and I had another
focus up, rat. Focus up. What was it, Augie, that you said I should ask about?
I'm there like doing this to a watch. I'm going.
Hold on, my new rat friend. Augie, you said we should ask about something specific.
Ask him if he's seen anything weird in the sewers.
Frog people.
Yes.
Frog people.
Yes,
I
ask him if
asked
he's
about
seen any
the frog people.
weird frog stuff in the sewers.
This is frog people. I don't know, but there's big, scary teeth and eyes and a big tail. And it goes, Gah! And it bites really hard. Oh,
like
pointy
this?
nose. And he like freaks out and like scurries around on like around your shoulders, Mia, and up onto your head as it sees the like teeth marks.
That sounds. He said a big tail. He said big teeth and big eyes. That sounds like an alligator. Ask the rat if he knows exactly where this gator shows up. These big teeth.
Do you know where this gator shows up?
Well, I see them sometimes everywhere, all in the sewers, but especially in the parts of the sewers where the water is warmer.
Warmer. Very interesting.
And
because they like to be warm.
Can you tell me which direction the warmer water is?
Your fate weaver looks at a
Nicely done.
I'm keeping this rat, by the way. I'm going to keep all the animals.
I
want to keep all of them.
Open up your coat and the rat kind of just...
I'm down with it.
More south from here. Now, right now, you are up in Harlem, which is way at the north of the map. So I don't know how helpful that's going to be to you, but down. And then it and scurries off, and you see it kind of go back into that like crawl space.
We did want to keep the rat.
I will get an animal somewhere in this campaign.
The rat didn't want to stay.
Okay.
So, yeah.
This is his home, and he has a big family. He already told us, so.
Yeah.
I say, Mia, I wasn't expecting that to give us so much information, but that's because I wasn't dreaming big. And the power of dreaming big for big dreamers is to believe. And you've got to see to believe, and you've got to feel your feelings that you see to dream to believe. And that's really a message I want for everyone today. And so, well done. Thanks. You did great.
Believe this. I feel that if we don't get to City Hall toot sweet, we're going to miss out. So let's scurry. And I want to
Inspirational
Carry
messages
on,
from
then.
both of you.
Yeah.
Can we hop on a train then? Because probably gonna be the quickest
Yeah.
way to get down there, right?
Yeah, you can catch a subway. The subway to get over to the city hall.
I guess the good thing is that no one can tell
Station?
that we smell on the subway because it's the
The
subway.
game
Yeah.
specifically says that when you're traveling on the subway, you don't need to make any checks to like blend in or not get spotted because people are used to weird things and they just read their paper and mind their business.
Nice.
Wow.
That's Spider-Man doing gymnastics. That's a guy playing the
Mhm.
guitar. Yeah.
That's normal.
So yeah, you make it over to City Hall and you can hear from the chiming of the church bells heard all over the city. It is about 9 p.m. now. And you get a description of the area as soon as I pull this up again. That's right. This time it's a bit busier than when you saw it before because it was 3 a.m. But when you were there before. But now it's night. It's not as busy as it would be during the day, but there are some people exiting City Hall in a bit of a crowd. And you actually spot someone who has like a what looks like what did I describe it before? A theater program or something? Kind of
Pamphlet.
look at it, crumple it up, toss it on the ground, and walks off.
Ooh, do we see the people who are talking under the tree from...
Yeah, you see two men who are talking to each other very animatedly, exiting the city hall, and then they make their way over to that little sapling where they stop to continue their conversation. What would you like to do?
Maybe we can try to blend in and
drop a bit.
slink into our environment unnoticed and eavesdrop.
I like that.
Mm.
I could
Who would
leave my ear somewhere. You know?
And then listen into it. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Drop that ear.
Can I roll to do that? I want to attempt to do that.
To leave your ear?
I'm going to rip my own ear off.
All right. I think that would be a struggle. You're going to have to physically exert yourself to do it.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm thinking big. I'm dreaming big. And I believe enough that if I was to rip my own ear off, I could use it as a rudimentary, that's why they call me Rudy, listening device.
Mm-hmm. I think that this is going to take some nerve.
100% nerve.
To rip your ear
Just
off?
one. I'm not ripping both off. I'm dreaming big. I'm 10x in the situation, but I'm not going to rip both ears off.
Your nerve is, I'm seeing now, a -1. So roll 2 dice and then subtract 1 from the...
8.
8. Wow, even with the -1.
I got 6 and a 3.
Nice.
Okay, you achieve whatever you want to do.
And do you know why I achieved?
Because you believed.
Because I believed.
Yeah.
All right, so describe what happens here, Matthew.
Okay, I kind of
what does Rudy do?
I hold... I kind of like hold Augie's hand without just kind of like grab it a little bit, and then I kind of go... And I rip my own ear off, which kind of comes off with just a bit. It doesn't take too much to get it off, but enough.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, dream big, the power of dreaming. I did it. Think in the dream with that really hard. So don't do that. And I kind of like hold the ear up and begin to try and I put it so I gotta hold it to Mia's face, and I say, talk into this, and see. And I asked Mia to
Hello!
Now,
did you hear it?
I heard it great, but I'm not sure if I heard it out of this ear or this ear because it was very loud.
Hello!
Nothing.
Hello?
Absolutely nothing. Nothing.
So you can't hear through it.
I don't think this it didn't.
Doesn't seem like it worked.
Didn't work.
No.
Dang.
You Van Gogh'd yourself for nothing.
Well, I dreamt the power of big dreams and
You
felt
did.
I 10x the situation. I felt like so. I now know that I shouldn't rip anything else off and use it as a free will appendage that can move on its own, which I
And
think
that
is a
is
great thing
so
that we've
good to
learned.
learn.
I feel like I've learned that, and I'm going to see the bright side of this situation. I'm going to push forward and 10x it later on down the road.
Here's what I'll give you, because that's amazing, but you made it so that you couldn't actually use anything with it. So here's what you get from this.
I mean, how could I? It says ripped off
Three.
here. It makes no sense that I could be able to use it.
I mean, I was potentially gonna roll with it. There's supernatural things at play. What you've done though is, as you look at your ear in your hand, you get a flash of memory of listening to someone talk honestly crazy, but you thought maybe it's not crazy. Sometimes people think I'm crazy, but maybe what they have to say isn't so crazy. Maybe I looked up to this person, and you have a deep sense that this person is related to your previous foggy memory of a map, and that maybe that's the person you all are looking for. So that's your another just vague memory as you hold your ear in your hand.
Did we ever check this map that we've got? We didn't really check it, did we? Should we do
You haven't.
We sort of did not, no.
Do I... Now, this might be crazy. Do I still have the map, considering I got it last time?
You don't. All you look in your pockets, and all you have is your what did you choose?
The letter, the promise to myself.
Oh, so we anything we picked up, we restart?
Yep, you don't. Everyone checks their pockets. You only have your stale cigarettes, your letter of promise to yourself for a promotion, and your.
I had a blank journal. I should have drawn a map in my journal.
Oh man!
And I could have kept. I didn't know that we would not have the item. Okay, so anything you guys need, we'll write it down or draw it in this thing.
Well, it might be blank again. It might be blank again when we show up.
Oh, that's true.
So as you're having all of these realizations, these memories, you see that these two men talking by the tree are starting to look like they're maybe about to walk away. What would you like to do?
Oh, okay. Well, this has been fun, but I'm going to try and blend in. And see if I can, maybe read a newspaper close enough to hear what they're saying.
Great. So give me a blend in check, and I want you to use calm for this because you're needing to maintain your composure under this pressure, I think.
Okay. I rolled an 8.
All right.
We are absolutely nailing the rolls.
Yeah, y'all aren't going to get any extra moves because you aren't failing anything. Like a chameleon, you attempt to sink into your environment unnoticed. So you get one option. Blending in with the crowd. I'm wondering if you are wanting to just listen in. You could sneak your way. You could obscure your face enough to speak with an NPC. You could steal something small. I'm not sure how that helps you in this situation, but it's an option for you.
I'm going to blend in with the crowd, mingling around, maybe leaving from City Hall, and see if I can eavesdrop and hear what they're saying and not be seen. Eavesdrop.
Yeah, you can absolutely do that with that success. So you hear these two speaking with pursuit. Listen, Teddy, it was crazy. You know we got to do something about the alligators. They're just, I swear, when I was inspecting the sewers in Kearney a few years back, one of them bit me. I'm thinking about, I don't know what to do, but I just don't think we accomplished enough in this meeting, did we? And Teddy says, Charles, man, here's what I've been considering. I think I'm going to arm all of my workers, and I'm going to pay them for every alligator they bring back from those sewers, because I'm tired of doing my inspections and not knowing what I'm going to run into. We got to do something about this. And you also happen to notice that on Teddy's belt, he's got a set of keys.
Okay.
We could do a classic New York mugging.
Oh,
yeah.
Can I use my nature thing with the pollen or the rats? Can we make them fall and get the keys?
Okay, you'll have to give me a check for your one with nature. And I love how useful that has been in this.
Yeah,
But one of you has to be ready to
hear.
steal. One of you has to be ready to steal.
Oh, I'm ready.
Oh,
Okay.
something that you can do as revenants, you are connected. You can basically talk to each other in your minds. So
in that case,
far
I
away,
say,
Mia, you can absolutely like have a little.
I say, be positive, everyone. Keep positive. Stay positive. You got to be positive all the
Yes,
time.
thank you. All right, keep the channel clear for important communications only.
Okay.
All right.
So
If you rile him up, if you rustle him up, I'm here and I'm waiting. I'll help him up, and maybe I'll help myself to his key ring as in the process.
I'm just staring at you, but you hear me be like enthusiastically like, yes. But it's really coming out like, because I didn't know we could mind speak. So there we are. Okay.
Love that.
Yeah, you can absolutely do that. You realized in this moment, as you were like, oh, I wish I could warn one of them to be ready to. And then the message happened.
Nice.
All right. So Augie, you're going to do your one with nature 2d6. And
there's some teamwork going on here.
Boy, I guess you did this and you enthusiastically found out that you could. I'm being way too nice. You can add +2. This will be a vigor check. I feel like you're using your enthusiasm to try and make this happen. You're excited by the idea. So +2 to this.
So it's a 10, and if you see any rats, we want to keep them.
Okay. So the flowers in the air, do you want to send rats over to swarm or stir up the pollen from flowers in the area?
Augie, are you allergic?
No. I'm around dust and pollen all the time. I'm good.
I guess we should probably do the pollen, although I do want a rat eventually. But yes, we'll do the pollen.
All right. Somehow these trees, this sapling that's barely even blooming, begins to emit so much pollen. The two men start like sneezing and like sputtering. Oh, this is why I like to work underground in the sewers. You know, I'd rather deal with the stench of human waste than this. And their like eyes start swelling up. And as Teddy goes to get a handkerchief out of his pocket, he actually accidentally unhooks his keys. And starts to like blow his nose and wipe his eyes as the two men walk away. In this moment, though, you also get that sense of like, there's a shadow in your peripheral vision that every time you try and look at it, it just stays right on the edge. So you know that there is a watcher. You've now done something so cool that you've drawn the attention of a watcher. So if you would like, Augie, you can pick up these keys.
Yeah, I snatched those keys right up.
All right. Now, what would you all like to do?
I want to look at these keys and are there any like names on them or labels, or do they look like they are keys to locks or doors or what?
Yeah, so the keys look like they're keys to locks, and each one is actually like engraved. Yes, as opposed to a key to but like a padlock or padlock.
Yeah.
I realized what I said was Captain Obvious. These are keys to locks. That's what you find out.
Okay.
No, and each one is engraved with a different like street number. So you see on there 145th, 86th, 129th, 14th.
Are those the same as the tubes, like tube stops?
Yeah.
Okay.
14th Street. Huh. What do you say, kids? You want to go down under?
I've never been to Australia.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I hear there are alligators there too, but they might be a little closer than Australia.
We'll go see those ones after.
Yeah.
Next.
Let's skedaddle it back into the subway and try to find like a service hatch of some description, then that this key might open.
Yeah.
And I say, each
Yeah.
of these keys is a promise for an adventure. And then we move on.
That's
Great.
beautiful. All right.
That was.
Could we possibly take a bunch of pigeons with us? Now, there's something else that we could do. Let's move on. Let's go down to the sewers.
Okay.
Why don't you? So where are you going down? Are you going down here at City Hall? Are
Yeah.
you going to 14th Street? Are you going somewhere else?
Well,
Actually, yeah.
Okay. Well, I have a thought. Yeah, I mean, part of me wants to get down into the sewers immediately, right? Because that sounds like where we're supposed to be.
It
But
sounds
part of me
like fun.
also, I think that 14th Street is north of City Hall, right?
Oh.
And so I'm wondering if we
put the map
travel above ground, maybe we'll run into the frogman that Isabel Bishop
I like that plan.
has
That's a
seen.
great plan.
I have a question
Let's do
real
that.
quick.
Mhm.
So these construction places, are we able? So we're at City Hall. Can we walk to that furthest construction site? Like,
You
can we
could walk
visit
up
it?
there, but because they're under construction, it's just a way to say like this is not particularly relevant to
Oh, okay.
your
Okay.
story. Yeah. You could walk up there. You're
Nah.
welcome to. But,
Never mind.
yeah. So in
Let's
some
go
of
to
these
Staten
streets,
Island.
let's go to Hoboken over here. You don't know. So 129th Street is Harlem. So that's where you start. That's way up here. 86th Street, where the menagerie is, that's the Upper West Side. Union Square is 14th Street. Canal Street is Canal Street. I don't have a number for that one. And City Hall is City Hall.
So here are my
That's where
two
you at.
thoughts. Our two options. We know from our rat friend that the alligators like southern warmer waters. That could be a reason to either go down into the sewers right now to see the alligators or to avoid it completely because we'll be eaten again. And then my other thought is if we travel above ground from City Hall to Union Square, that is sort of vaguely the direction of the frogman. And I kind of want to see if we can run into him and follow him.
I think that's a great plan. Let's do that.
All right. So we'll head to Union Square above ground. Hopefully we run into the frogman. If we don't, at least we know we can go down into the sewers with our keys at 14th Street.
Great. So you start to make your way up to Union Square, 14th Street. As you approach, you make your way up. You're looking out for anyone who might look like a frog man. And you don't run into anyone, but what you do find actually on the ground, there's so much trash in New York City, always finding things on the ground. You spot something, Rudy, that tingles your brain a little with your map memory, and it looks like a bit of just a torn corner of like a map. You go to look at it, and it is a map of the like underground tunnels in New York, the subway system and the sewers. It's torn, but it's a little bit damp, and you have a memory. Your memory before with your map, it's starting to become clearer, and you know that the culprit, the person you're trying to find, that you had a memory about before with their crazy talk, that they had a map like this, and they had part of it circled. Something about one of these, a location somewhere along these underground tunnels, was particularly important.
Okay.
So that's what you find.
Right. So I kind of just say, I don't know, I've seen this torn up piece of map. I'm getting a vibe from it. I don't know what it is, but I feel like if this wasn't just the torn off corner or something, it could even be useful. But alas, it isn't. So
Well,
I said, yeah,
I think it has told us something very important. And that's that we want to get into the sewers as soon as possible and start looking for what might be that location on the map that's in your mind.
true.
It's not up here. We got to go down. We
Let's
got to
do
go
it.
below.
Let's go back into the sewers where we
Yeah.
could make friends or enemies. But really, what is an enemy? You know, an enemy really, is that just an opportunity? I'm not saying it is, but it could be. Does that make any sense? Should I write it down?
It does make sense. It does make sense. Don't write it down. We don't have
Go.
time. We're going underground. And I want to see if I can use my keys to like,
Yeah.
or should we just like lift up a manhole and like drop down in?
So if you've made it all the way up, yeah, sorry.
I was just going to say, let's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle this situation and do a manhole. That does sound fun.
Yeah.
So you're up around Union Square, 14th Street, and you've gotten there a little bit later than you were there last time. And you actually notice the same kind of group, because you've gotten there later. You see those three same men. You see Isabel, but this time, because you weren't there quite as early as before, you see her kind of like slap one of them and then turn around and just like walk off in a huff. And the one that she slaps is like, tries to like seem like, look, whatever, it didn't hurt, but it did. And they kind of, the three guys walk into the pool hall. So you're just catching like the tail end of that same situation.
That's my Isabel.
You're also...
She's tough. Miss Bishop, I knew she could take care of herself.
You get the sense also that if you have these keys, there is probably some kind of a grate that you can find down in the subway. And if you find it, you can probably unlock that rather than needing to like sneakily hop down a manhole where there are people on the street who might see.
Okay, we do that then. Let's go down and hunt round for this service entrance.
So you can come down into the subway area, and you just need to spend a little time looking, and you'll find the grate that's like, again, kind of like a Jeffrey's tube, like a crawl space almost, that connects the subway tunnel with the sewer tunnel that is kind of runs parallel with it. And so you find the key that is labeled for 14th Street, and you use it, you unlock, and you are able to go into that section of sewer. But it took you a little while to do. So you know that you only probably have a few hours before the sun will rise again.
Got it.
Yeah. So what would you like to do as you enter this sewer space?
Breathe deep first.
It's gross.
I just think we should get that over and done with first and foremost, you know?
All right, if you say so.
Because we could do this to our like selves, but we also smell horrendous. So, yeah.
It's pretty bad, but okay. Maybe I'd love to take a cigarette out and
Oh, that's
I don't think I have a lighter. But at least I can like chew on it and maybe like help the smell just a little bit.
Are there any like lights down here at all, or is it dark actually?
Wow, that is a great question. It is dark, but because you are revenants, you have no problem seeing in the dark.
Okay, excellent.
So you don't need any light actually to see. So you've got some options. You can explore around here. You can head up north. You can head south, which is the...
Okay, I'm going to use my special ability, and because I can't work out where to go. We don't know where we're really going. We're probably going to head south.
Sure.
Is probably the plan. But I'm going to do my guided by voices.
Yeah.
And just to see if anyone could like help tell me where we should be going. Like they jog my memory.
Yeah. Great. Yeah, it says when you want to know where to go next. So you will roll 2d6, and I think this is with resolve, because you feel stumped, but you are resolved to persist in the situation.
All right.
So add a +1 to that.
Oh, good, because it's now a 7.
Oh,
Oh, that
didn't
was
make
great.
it. So you can choose from one of these 3 options that you have here. Something tells you to go in a specific direction. You can ask the Fate Weaver, where is the culprit at this very moment? You can ask the Fate Weaver for a clue. Or you can ask, I can give you a memory card, but I think at this point you probably want either a clue or to know where the culprit is at this very moment.
I feel like hopefully those are actually the same thing, right? So I guess I'll ask the Fate Weaver where the culprit is. And hopefully
Yeah.
that is who we're after right now.
So you get the feeling, just like a sense pulling you just slightly north of where you are. But you know that you don't need to go that far north to run into what you're looking for and who you're looking for, because it feels as though they are coming toward you.
Okay. I kind of say that in so much words, and I say, I know that we think we're going to go south because let's be real, the rat told us. But I think if we just stay here, kind of blend in, we might be able to get the jump on whatever's going on here. That would be my suggestion.
I think that was the smartest thing you've said all day, Rudy. Yeah.
Do you mean
can we?
today's in this loop? Because I said last loop, some really inspirational
No,
stuff.
I mean all of the days that we've ever had.
All of the days that are.
Yeah, every today. That is the smartest thing you've said. Write that down. Can we hide, like, you know how sometimes there are like joints in a sewer, like where maybe it goes off to just a tiny little alcove or a grate or something like that? Can we like just hide ourselves around the corner so we'd hear him coming and then he'd pass, but he wouldn't see us until he just passed? Maybe he wouldn't see us at all if we hide ourselves.
That's better than my plan, which was going to be, can we breathe underwater?
I think we probably can, right?
Yeah, I was like, because we're dead, so we can probably just stay under the water. But I like this plan better because it ain't water, so that's.
Yeah, you could absolutely do. All 3 of you want to find a little place to like hide in a dark shadow.
Yeah.
And that is easily enough done. I
Brilliant.
think by all 3
let's
of
do
you.
that.
One thing I'll say, as you're standing there waiting, and you're not waiting that long, but as you're waiting to see if the culprit, the person you need to stop, comes by, Mia, because of your one with nature, you happen to notice a ripple in the water of the sewer. So basically you're in like a big tunnel, right? And there is like, you are not stepping in the water directly at the moment. There's, like a little like brick edges,
side edge,
so that you're kind of on, kind of like a curb almost, with the water flowing in the middle, the sewage. And you notice a kind of a rippling V shape, kind of slowly moving through and past you in the middle of the water. And then just after you notice this, you start to hear the sounds of a small group approaching. They have flashlights, so you see like lights kind of starting to bounce off the walls of the sewer, and coming into view is a man, a creature, a humanoid figure, wearing really a strange kind of outfit. It looks, in fact, almost like historical cosplay of a frog. It's a like armored diving kind of suit. And it's got a helmet with bulbous windows where the eyes are, and some tubing here along the cheeks that you think might help with like almost like a snorkeling kind of a situation for breathing. And this person is kind of leading a small group of people moving through this space. And they are heading south, kind of in the direction that that ripple in the water was heading.
Wow. Well, we
So-
got to follow him, right?
Yeah. We're going to sneakily follow, I feel like, is a good plan. Either that or we attack them all right now, but we're probably outnumbered. But we can also see and they can't. But that's... Yeah, let's follow them.
Yeah, I think I want to follow him.
Okay, yeah. So you follow, and you're following them for a little while. It takes a good chunk of time to get through, and it starts to get warmer. And you know that there is near City Hall, there is actually the Pearl Street power plant, and that is probably contributing to the waters in the sewer in this area being warmer. And so that's everything is getting like is much warmer, and you see this group moving toward what looks like almost like a buildup of almost like what you would say like a beaver dam, but that can't be right because you're in a sewer. It can't be a beaver dam. And the person in the frog suit starts to get like really animated. You overhear him showing to the now get your cameras ready. Those of you with cameras taking notes, you are about to see something that will be life changing. And he shines his light over on what looks like this like beaver dam, and what it actually is this like nest of alligators, just like this massive nest of alligators. And
What is the insurance on this type of tour? It's crazy.
He's like, I'll reveal to you, I know they're here. The alligators, they are the clue. And he pulls out a gun and starts, as other people are just watching, shooting at the alligators to try and get them to like move and scatter and clear out of the way. And right as he's doing this, there's a bright flash of light in your eyes. And you wake up in your subway car on your side track at the end of a second loop.
No. Oh, we were so close. We got to get back there. We got to get back there ASAP.
Let's do it. We kind of we won't have the keys to do it this time though, so we kind of need to go and do that again.
You're
but
right.
Can we fast forward this?
Maybe we can just see if we can like break in or something. Now that we know that these grates exist, like maybe I don't know.
What were you about to say?
Could we see if we never found out who's giving the tours? Couldn't we just sign up with the tour group?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I want to get there sooner, and like maybe we could talk to the alligators.
I guess if we get there at the same time again, we'll just be launched back because the end of the loop. So the time that they're there is.
So I want to get there sooner. Because we don't know where the frogman came from. We don't know where the tour leaves from, but we do know where that alligator nest is. So I'm wondering if we just go there as fast as we possibly can. Because like he said, the alligators are the clue and he wants to like be there, right? So I think we just go there and try and investigate. But you're right, we don't have the keys, but we're already underground. And okay, I think Augie's gonna be like, no, we just gotta get there as soon as possible. So I'm gonna leave the subway car and I'm gonna see if I can find the grate for our stop where we are now that would lead us into the sewers. That like
if you remember, there was a rat who ran out of a little
yeah, we know that. We remember that.
Loop.
That's where we're gonna go. We're gonna do that way.
Yeah,
we're gonna follow the rat.
And that's where, okay, and so that's where he came from. Is your friend here? Maybe he can, I don't know, pick the lock or something. Or I want to see if I can use my revenant strength to open this door. to open this gate.
Yeah.
Maybe I like tear it from its hinges or something.
Go for it. Do you have a special move that helps you with that? What is yours? For Grizzled? Oh, no, you took
I took browbeat.
Browbeat.
So that's coercing the answers out of an NPC. I
right, as opposed to the, yeah. If
I
you want,
really
you
wish
haven't used it yet, right?
No.
Just use your, swap it. Swap it for supernatural strength if you want.
Okay, I'm
I don't care,
swapping
you
it.
haven't used it yet. Let's use it.
I'm swapping it
Rule
for
cool.
supernatural strength. Okay, let's see if I can do it.
And I think this is resolve, probably. You are really persisting. Now, as you are, so add a +2 to what you roll. As you do that, your other two companions get flashes of memories. There's some things from what they just saw that have been jogged open in them. So because we're in between loops, this could be an opportunity for me to present you with a new memory card to unlock some things. But because we're playing a shorter session, I'm going to just tell you what your memories are right now. So Rudy, sorry, Augie and Rudy, I keep trying to say the wrong names. You suddenly, because you've seen this frog suit now, and you have a memory of going to a lecture. You had a lot of you did a lot of research on how other people did public speaking, right? And so you went to a lecture of a professor at NYU who was presenting about alligators in the sewers and his theories about what that actually meant. You have flashes of him talking about like lizard people living under the city, or perhaps the lost city of Atlantis being in the sewers underneath the city, and that these alligators were signs. And here's the helmet he had made, and here's the image of a map where he had circled the city hall location. You were getting just all of these like confirmations. Everything is suddenly starting to piece together because you've seen him now walking through the sewer. And Mia, you know that you have this gramophone, right, that you use to listen to things, and you had a record that you had found, or whatever they were recording that you played, that happened to also be a copy of like this is wild, but it's like a story. It's like the old-timey version of someone who was going to do a reporting. And so they would like record themselves on a little like memo taker thing. And then like they took the little tape. They were like, I'm not going to do this story. And they just like chucked it, threw it away. It's like the gramophone version of that you had found. You were like, what is this? And so you played it. And it sounded something like this. Reporter Artie, sorry, let me grab his last name. Reporter Artie Daly, sitting here with Dr. Vess, to talk about his theories about the alligators underneath the city. Now, Dr. Vess, normally I do sports reporting, but my editor said I should come down here and talk to you about the alligators and the threats that they pose.
Well, the threats are not really the alligators in the city. They are what the alligators lead us to. They are the lost Atlanteans, and I believe that they are under the lost Atlantean. Is this, you're just another crackpot? I don't have time for this. Thanks for your time. And then like the tape, the recording cut off, and you can just like almost picture this person just being like whatever and chucking this thing that you happen to find. So as this like supernatural strength is happening from Augie right now, suddenly the two of you are overwhelmed with these memories. All right, how did that roll go, Augie?
It did not go well. I did not pass. I rolled a 2 and a 1 plus a 2.
Oh no!
So I did not.
So here's what happens is you manage to rip this grate off, but in the process your body is, I mean, every time you come back you are falling apart more and more, and you hurt yourself. So you get the grate off the sewer, but you take 2 points of damage as you do it, and that's pretty bad because 3 points of damage and your loop resets. And you know that if you can't do this, if you can't stop Dr. Vess from doing whatever he's doing right now, you will be stuck after this loop in this reality for all of eternity.
Yeah.
So you will have to be very careful because you only have 1 point of damage, and you kind of ruin it for everyone. But you do manage to get the grade off.
Okay. All right, team. It took a bit of a sacrifice, but I'm willing to make it. Now let's go see those gators.
All right. So we go through the grate and we kind of like beeline it there as quick as possible, I guess is the plan.
I think that's our best plan. Yeah.
Let's do it.
I think that's our best plan.
Let's fast forward to being there unless we have a reason to stop.
So, sorry, where are you? Where are you headed?
Gator hunting.
Yeah, we're gator hunting. I think we're going to go to 14th Street, but not to 14th Street, to the alligator nest a little bit north, or where we followed them to.
That was all the way down in City Hall.
Hall.
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah, that's where I think we want to go, is the gator.
Now, if you make your way down there, you are starting, because where you're starting is up in Harlem. And you know that Dr. Vess with his group had come down from the north later in the night. So you know that if you're walking down, you might be able to intercept him sooner.
If we do intercept him, we could talk to him.
Yeah.
Because we know, because before we didn't talk to him because he could have been a strange frog man who was going to kill us, but now he's just a mad scientist. So we could talk to him and say, we'll see what we say when we get there.
Yeah. I definitely think we would love to intercept him if we can.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So I think if you all start to make your way through the sewers down south, heading towards City Hall, you make your way, and you'll absolutely just right about, let's see, how long would it take you probably to get down to so I think it doesn't take you that long to get to the Upper West Side kind of area, so you've made it about that far down your map, just after a couple of hours, and as you do, you remember that this is where the menagerie is. And as you are like thinking about that, you see a man not in a suit yet, kind of starting to like come down into this sewer area. He's not in a frog suit, but he's kind of looking around with this flashlight and kind of talking to himself like, yes, and I'll bring them here, and then we will walk all the way down, and I'll have my proof, the photos, the write-ups. Everyone will know that I've been right. I'm not crazy. And then he will turn, and his flashlight shines on the three of you.
Hello.
Have you been in the audience of my lectures?
Yeah. And what a fantastic lecture. And that's, all three of us, I've been telling my friends here about your findings and your studies and your theories, and I'm just super impressed by it all, really. So we just thought we'd come down. I'm so happy that you're here as well, because we can talk to you about your theories and the alligator.
Right, your theories. Yeah, we're very interested in your theories. We're actually supporters.
Big time.
Great. So you're here to join in with the group who's going to witness the greatest discovery of our lifetimes.
Yeah, but I was just because I was thinking though that these alligators are pretty like, what are you gonna do? What are we gonna do? We're gonna walk down, I'm sure, to like your hot spots that you found and everything. But I was just thinking, what are we gonna do when we get there, right? Because we're gonna be surrounded by alligators. That's potentially dangerous, and someone could get hurt if we rile these creatures up. So would it be better? What's your plan when we get down there?
The alligators aren't going to get anyone. They're not going to drag anyone under the water and eat them. They're not going to leave anyone riddled with teeth marks. The alligators are just there to protect the entrance to the lost city of Atlantis.
Yeah.
And once they know that we come in peace, we come to make friends with them, they will call their guard dog, so you speak, off, and we'll enter a new era.
I'm gonna
Coexistence.
I'm gonna mind talk to Augie,
Uh-huh.
well, and to Mia, and the mind talk is going to be along the lines of, should we beat this guy up and stop this tour from happening? Because I've got a feeling that we went on this tour and we got eaten by alligators. Now,
Yeah.
if we can stop that from happening, we can come back to life.
Yeah. So feels like
We drown this guy? No, that's too much, right? We don't.
probably maybe we can convince him that the alligators are not to be trifled with, that they're very dangerous.
Question. Are there any ripples in the water right now?
Ooh, make an investigation check, I think, for that.
Okay.
While you are all like just standing there silently, like looking at each other furtively for moments and moments on end, and Dr. Vess is like,
Okay. Well,
we're the weird ones.
get my suit. And so he starts to like slowly like make his way so that he can like go and get his proper suit on, as he's not leaving yet, but he's in the process of starting to go. Okay, so we've got though an investigation to see if Mia notices if there are any alligators in the water, any V ripples happening. I think this is with calm, right? You're maintaining your composure under pressure to just check and see is what I would say. So 2d6 plus 1.
That would make it a 9 then.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, so you get to choose one option. So I would think, you are specifically looking. What do you notice in your surroundings that seems of great importance? You do notice a ripple, a V ripple, slowly moving through and then kind of coming to a stop, and you see like as a flashlight, as Dr. Vest kind of shines his flashlight around, it kind of hits the eyes, and there's just some red glows in just peeking out at the water. And if you look closely with your dark vision, you can also see, you know how they like sit with just like their eyes and their nose kind of stuck out of the water?
So I'm going to tell Augie and Rudy, just detain him. I want to talk to the ripple because maybe they have a thing. Maybe he can just help us out.
Let's do it.
Mr. Professor. Sorry, Professor.
Dr. Vess. Thank you.
Doctor Professor? That's crazy.
No, it's just Dr. Vess.
And so now he's going into a whole semantics conversation with you too about doctor, professor.
Yeah.
Like what's tenure?
Do you have
what's
to
the
study
research
abroad
like?
to do that, or is that something you can do here in the United States of Awesome?
Fascinating. Yes, very
so
fascinating.
That is being a distraction. Mia.
Love it.
You would like to try and talk to this alligator?
Yes.
Coming into Columbus, I guess. So that's okay. Awkwardness.
Should I roll for that?
Yeah, do your one with nature roll again, 2d6, and I will let you choose. What do you think makes sense to use your stat to add to it? Resolve, nerve, calm, maybe still calm.
Okay. That would be 7.
Okay, yeah. So you can speak to this alligator. You won't be able to stick your face right up against it probably, but I have a feeling you can still somehow make this happen.
If I stick my finger in the water, maybe?
Oh, now if you stick your finger in the water, that alligator will come right over to you. It will swim right over. And you get the sense that alligators really like decomposing flesh because it means it's something easy for them to eat.
Yeah, but not this alligator. This alligator's cool.
Maybe.
So maybe as you can
Talk
stick your
to
finger
him.
in the water and try to send him a message as he's coming towards you.
I mean, I guess I'll just stick one finger. I don't mind losing a finger for the greater good here. You know. But yes, dear alligator friend, I would like to know what you think of this gentleman here. Not the decomposing one, the other one.
I'm hungry. You smell very good.
Oh, he smells better, though. He smells way better.
I've seen him here before, yes. He is trying to disturb our masters.
I can't hear this.
We'll just assume you guys can hear. Like, I'll just relay
because
this.
you're translating it all
yeah.
through.
Yes.
I asked
yes.
how long do you need to study for a master's? Is that like doing a PhD or is that what's the deal with that?
Oh, yes. It took me 4 years and
4 years,
many
that's
research papers.
And that's a
I
long
think because
time
Augie
to
says out loud, your masters. Tell me more about the masters. Huh?
Yes, our masters who live under here. We guard the entrance to their home.
Holy crap, he's right.
Do not like to be disturbed. If they do, it will probably spark a war.
We can't let him disturb. I'm going to say this in my mind. We cannot let Dr. Vess get to the nest and disturb whatever their masters are. I don't even want to know who. That's the triggering event. We can't let that happen.
Here's the thing. We have a moral quandary, but I do think the greater good is there's 3 of us and we all die. One of him, he might spark a war. That's terrible. What I mean, like that's like Gabriello Princip. We don't want this.
We don't. we do not. This is Franz Ferdinand here. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. This is it.
We can't. Okay. We don't have to kill him. Let's just follow him up to his menagerie and hold him captive until it's too late. And
But he'll
But
come
he's
again.
hungry. The alligator's hungry.
I mean, she's got a great point.
Hungry.
And you do know that typically something an alligator can do, and this is something I think Mia would know, being one with nature here, and you're just getting the sense, because as you're connected to the alligator, you're getting flashes of like the kind of animal they are. Did you know that alligators from the edge of the water can lunge 5 or 6 feet forward to grab something and pull it back into the water and swallow it whole? Fun nature fact for you. Be careful if you ever go to Florida.
Ooh. And how far away is Dr. Beth?
I would say just slightly further than that, but also standing near your 2 other friends here who are happen to be dead already.
I'm going to do the thing where I'm going to crouch down behind the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I'm going to hope someone's going to pick up what I'm putting down and push him over me. Like a high school prank, only like with alligators.
Yeah, just a prank.
So I'm just going to crouch down.
While Rudy does that behind the doctor, who's hopefully still telling us about his plants or his master's education, I'll say, "Oh, doctor, you have something on your tweed overcoat," and I'm gonna lean in close, and then I'm gonna push him right over Rudy.
All right, I want you to make a struggle check.
Yes.
With gosh, I think this is with nerve, but
I think this is nerve.
Yeah, I think this is with nerve, so that'll give you a +1. But because Rudy is also helping you with this, I'm gonna let you roll 3d6, and you can take the 2 higher.
Woo!
Higher amount.
Let's do it. Okay. Well, then that is an 11 naturally, +1 makes it a 12.
Yeah, so I think here you achieve what you want to do, and as you do, like you get this, you get another like a watcher who y'all have been so like just the right amount of successful in this game. You've had barely any of your watchers come onto the board. A watcher is like watching and is starting to like, you can actually see it, not just in your peripheral. It can tell that you are about to break yourself out of this loop, and it does not like it. So it is starting to like it is more corporeal here in this moment than you've ever seen, but
I
you're
start
able to achieve
talking
what
to
you
the
want.
Watcher about the power of atomic habits.
No, it just can't handle it. It wants to run away. So you push the. Why don't you describe to me,
Well, let's not.
the two of you, what happens to Dr. Vess? What was your goal? You just wanted to like topple him over and slide kind of toward the edge of the water here. What's the goal?
I think we like the push works, but
Mhm.
as he kind of topples over me, I kind of grab him a little bit by the torso, so his legs are dangling very close to an alligator's hungry's mouth.
Yeah.
And the alligator would be able to get purchase on possibly just one of the legs.
Okay.
And in that does like the spin, the leg, I mean,
The death
straight
roll.
off. Death roll. The leg comes straight off. And
Great.
that's
That
going to do
happens.
enough psychological damage for creature not want to come back and do this again.
Okay, how about I was gonna say now you could use your browbeat, but we had you change.
Yeah.
Gosh, is this enough to just convince him to not come back? I think
He got his
Think of the
leg
psychological-
ripped off.
Well,
I
the
think
thing
in
is,
this moment, if the three of you are willing to drop your veil and show yourselves as the undead supernatural beings you are, that with this, I think would probably be enough to convince Dr. Vess to never come down into
it's
the
the
sewers again.
1930s, and I mean this is not a lovely way for this doctor, the good doctor, to end up. But firstly, he's going to hospital. If he survives the sepsis, he's in a sewer where he gets his
That's
injury.
true.
We're hoping he does. We're hoping, hope and pray for that one. And he's going to be talking about weird revenants, weird
his fever.
alligator people, the fever.
Nobody's gonna believe him.
He's going straight to a sanitarium. Let's be real about this, where he is unfortunately safe from himself.
Yeah.
In a horrible way.
It's true.
As you realize that, and as the alligator takes the severed leg, submerges under the water with it to save it for later, and you get visions of what is now very likely going to happen in Dr. Vess's future. There is one more great bright flash, and you find yourself back in that limbo waiting room with Greta.
I like to think though that we've saved him from getting drafted into World War II.
Yeah.
Hey, you know
we
what?
probably
Probably
did.
did.
Nice. Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's a
really,
good thing you've done.
That's a pretty good mercy. That's great for him, honestly. So
As
we're
we
the
come
heroes.
back into the waiting room, I say, I didn't even get to thank the alligator. Bad.
I'm gonna put my
Greta
hand.
says-
I'm gonna put my hand on Mia's shoulder, and I'm gonna say, "He knows.
He knows.
He knows."
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Wow, welcome back. She's filing her nail with her flaming nail file. Wow, it looks like you managed to succeed in a good thing, because the bosses upstairs were not happy with the timeline that was set into motion from the Shattering Event that you just changed. Between you and me, the war that was triggered, those Atlanteans were gonna mind control all the people. They weren't gonna be afraid of death no more, which meant Limbo wasn't going to have the power of souls, and bureaucracy couldn't let that happen. So you've saved us all.
And I say we knew that. That's why we did. That's why we did it. That's why we did. We knew that. That's why we did it.
I didn't know that.
That's I sensed it anyway.
Lucky for you, you don't have to be a revenant no more. You can go on to your afterlife. Choose a door.
And in front of you, you see a door now reveal itself in the wall, just like before, but this one isn't a plain beige door. This is the door that you know is perfect for you. It will lead you to your perfect afterlife of eternity. Mary Lou,
Oh,
what door do you think Augie sees? What does it look like? And when you open the door to walk through it, what do you see?
the door is it's just like a brownstone door from somewhere probably in South Brooklyn. And it is the door of the house that he grew up in as a kid, with his single mom. His dad
Aw.
his dad was not a nice guy. He would drink and he would hit both my mom and me. And then one day something happened and my mom said, he's not going to hurt us anymore. And I'm walking into that house and my dad isn't there and it's just me and my mom, and I'm 9 years old again, and there's fluffy cats. There's like 3 fluffy cats and my mom, and we're sitting and listening to the radio.
Aw, that's perfect.
Yeah.
And that is what Augie walks into for his eternal life.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Matthew, how about Rudy? What does Rudy see? What kind of a door? What happens when you open it?
All right, so I see a very heavy door that's kind of like off its hinges. That's not quite right. It's being held up by a single screw in a single hinge, but that screw never comes undone because it's got the power of belief and 10xing itself. And I walk through the door, and I'm in a full crowded auditorium. And I'm giving my 10x speech about dreamers for dreams of people who keep on dreaming good, and everyone's loving it.
If I might add, that eternity, that speech, I think goes on to inspire TED Talks.
It does. That's where I was gonna.
Yeah.
That's why I was doing it. I was doing it for TED Talks.
Yeah, exactly.
That's beautiful.
Rachanee, what does Mia see? What kind of a door, and what does she see when she opens it?
Oh, I think you guys know. It's just a plain white door, but beyond it is a big open field. The sun is shining. The plants are singing. The plants are talking. And so are all the animals. All the animals.
And there's a rat.
There's a rat, and it gets along with the alligator, and it gets along with the pigeon and the cockroaches. And yes.
It's beautiful.
It is.
Beautiful. And as you all walk through your doors, Greta salutes you. See you later. And the doors close behind you as you go into your beautiful afterlife. And that is where we will end our game of the Revenant Society from Van Ryder Games. Well done, everyone.
Awesome.
Thank you so much to Van Ryder for sponsoring this stream or this video, this playthrough of the Revenant Society. This was designed by Banana Chan and Sinfun Lim. And based on the Powered by the Apocalypse system for anyone who's interested. If you would like to check this out yourself, there's a description below this video because this is on YouTube. And in that description is a link that you can click that will take you to more
there
information.
There is the key, and the key opens a door. And behind the door, there's a riddle.
And if you answer the riddle, you'll get to pre-order the Revenant Society for yourself. Thank you so much. I'm going to have everyone say a little something as we wrap up here. Of course, we'll start with Matthew, my co-host for all of our live plays of games. Matthew, what do you want to tell everyone about these days?
Hey, thank you for listening. We appreciate you loads. Stay cool. That's all.
If you like Matthew, you should check out his travel vlogs on YouTube. Yes, Land Travel. Go check them out. They'll be linked below.
Cool.
Mary Lou, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, and Princess and Fat Boy. They were here the whole time being very annoying, but adorable. You can find me on the internet on all platforms, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, at Mary Lou Larry Moon. That's just Mary Lou with the first letter switched. And I'll see you there.
Right. And Rachanee, tell everyone what you're up to.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. This was so much fun. Yeah, if you like fantasy novels, check them out, Rachanee.net. And yes, I'm sure we'll play through something again soon. So
Yeah, and actually coming up in a little bit, depending on when you watch this, I will be on Rachanee's TTRPG show, Punch and Roll.
yes,
That
yes.
Rachanee DMs, and I will be coming in as a guest.
A very
NPC.
special guest that we will not talk about until you get there.
Nope. So keep an eye out for that. All right. Thanks so much, everyone. Thanks again, Van Ryder Games. And we'll see you later.
Thank you, Paula.
Bye.
Thanks,
Thanks, Paula.
Welcome.